What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Tuesday night. It is Tuesday Night Titans, episode 145 for your Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. I'm your host, JD from New York, as always, joined by the one and only, the true master of the Tongan death grip, the Silent Monster. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, it's almost like, remember when the Berserker used to go like this? That's kind of what you do with, that's like what you do with the Tongan death grip. Like, I thought of the Berserker when I saw that last night.
You know, this is, how many weeks in a row now has the Berserker been mentioned on the show? You brought him up now.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly, he's living rent-free in our heads. How come he's not in the Hall of Fame? It's been at least a few weeks.
I don't know. It's certainly a Hall of Fame gimmick, I'll tell you that. We got breaking news here before we even start anything. Jason's all-time favorite, Evil, has already debuted on NXT.
Oh, joy. Evil has arrived. Now, what is his name? Are they referring to him by any name yet?
Apparently, the chat says he has no name. He said nothing, and he was there and gone in like 30 seconds.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. So when did he come out, though? Did he interfere during a particular segment? Tony D? Like, what are we looking at here?
I don't know. Apparently, the chat's saying there's a couple of debuts on NXT. You'd think that they would need that because they called half their roster up to the main roster. I don't know.
Well, welcome to 39-year-old Evil to NXT.
Yeah.
Enjoy your stay. I have no idea whether or not he's going to be main roster bound at some point, but he has arrived.
You know, they needed to make room for his contract because of the releases that we got today or Friday. We're going to talk about them
Triple
today.
H's contract and Evil's contract. Those two contracts alone.
I know. Anyway, guys, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for joining us, guys. It is the last Tuesday Night Titans of April. I want to say this was probably, if I was to put a guess on it, I would say this is maybe the best month that we've ever had, honestly.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we've had some kick-ass shows, and even with all of the controversy and all the bullshit around WrestleMania, you guys, I think they wanted to commiserate with us because there was a lot of really like bad television.
Yeah. Normally, when there's bad television, people love to tune into what we have to say. You know?
When things are really, really good or really, really bad, it just inspires people.
Yeah.
And they come to us for our opinions, and we appreciate that.
Yeah. You guys, I think almost every stream minus last week's stream hit 50,000 views. We came very, very close to last week's stream. I think we did at least 48.9, I think. But you guys killed it. Thank you very much for all the support here on Tuesday night. We're going to get into it. We got a lot to say about the releases. I know Jason has said a lot on his end. I've said a lot on my end. We're going to go over it together here. It should be fun. I still don't get half the names that were released. Not surprised by some of them, but there were one or two that really surprised the shit out of me. So we're definitely going to go over that. We'll talk some Monday Night Raw, Jacob Fatu, Roman Reigns, and where we potentially see that going. Obafemi and this open challenge. Every week is an open challenge, whether it's for the AW World Championship or the United States Championship on Friday night. Now we got an Obafemi open challenge.
Dude. You have to understand something here. On Friday, Trick Williams finally put the U.S. title open challenge to bed. And on Monday, two more popped up.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's like whack-a-mole. But I have a feeling, I haven't heard everything you had to say, but I do have a feeling that you and I may have divergent opinions on something.
On the Obafemi open challenge?
I believe so.
I don't like it.
Okay.
My reasons are a little bit more like straight and narrow. There's nothing too crazy, but I'm interested to see what you got to say. I haven't heard what you have to say yet, so we'll have fun with that. We will definitely go over the Nick Khan stuff. Nick Khan has vouched for Triple H. He's got a new, what I heard is a rumored 3-year contract extension for Chief Content Officer. He will remain head of creative. And Nick Khan loves to say that WWE is not influenced by social media, but always seems to mention the vocal minority on social media. All right, Nick Khan, I see you with your 13 burners. We'll definitely go over that. And we'll talk a little Darby Allin and his World Championship match on Wednesday's Dynamite last week against Tommaso Ciampa, which was great. Still not feeling Darby as the world champion, but we'll have fun with that as well and talk a little AEW. And maybe some Hulk Hogan documentary. I did watch all 4 hours of it. Jason did as well. I was listening to Uncrowned while I was making dinner tonight. So we'll talk about that as well. So we got a nice little show for you. And again, I thank you guys very much. Please hit that thumbs up. Try for 1,000 likes. Make sure you guys go follow Jason on social media and on YouTube. Everything you need is linked down below. I think we both respectively have a nice little momentum going, man. Coming out of WrestleMania, we got a little sub boost in the month of April, which is always the case because it's WrestleMania season. But I like what's going on for both of us. You know, any thoughts? Anything? Agree. Right?
I have nothing to add to that. I think you summed it up very well, and we're only up from here.
There you go. There is, if you guys want a replacement for Friday Night SmackDown, which I heavily vouch for, Jason will be in Los Angeles this Friday for House of Glory. We have another show in Los Angeles, our second time in Los Angeles. I will unfortunately not be there. Jason will be there, though, in the trenches. What's going on there? Are you excited for that?
I am, because I actually missed the first show. We had Royal Rumble stuff to tend to, so I was not there in our LA debut in January. So I'm looking forward to getting out there. A lot of TNT fans also that are from the LA area who I think are going to be coming out to the show. So I'm looking forward to meeting some folks. But also, we have Amazing Red and Speedball Mike Bailey. First time ever. I know Speedball was doing some press. I know he's very excited about getting into the ring with Red. 20 years in the making, he said this match has been for him. So to be able to call that is going to be very cool. And a match that, as you know, has been building for a long time now. Zilla Fatu finally going to get his cousin, Lance Anoa'i, in the ring. Crown Jewel title on the line. Thunder Rosa going to be making her HOG debut. So all that and a lot more. There's a lot of good stuff coming up on Friday night. I believe there are some standing room only balcony and standing room only general admission tickets available, but they are going quick. So if you want to come to the show, hogwrestling.net.
Not only is House of Glory taking, well, we've already taken over the East Coast. Now we're taking over the West Coast. It's pretty cool.
Well, we're taking over the world.
Taking over the world.
Yeah.
Love to see it. Make sure you guys check that out. And just a little side note, the Vegas show, I believe at this point is uploaded in full on YouTube. So go check that out.
Jason, and also, I was going to mention just the first LA show, because there were technical issues with the stream in the building, and so we weren't able to stream it live. And it's taken a while just to get everything in working order, but in anticipation of the second LA show, we are posting matches from the first one this week that have never been seen other than by the people in the building. So there are a few matches that are up already. Tomorrow, Amazing Red and Andrade El Idolo, I believe at 10 a.m. Eastern, is going to be premiering on our YouTube channel. So, and trust me, it's a badass match.
Everything Red does is badass. Go watch that Bandito match from Vegas. We had a fucking blast calling that match. So go check all that stuff out. Really, really great stuff over there. And like I said, Friday, House of Glory from Los Angeles. Super chats are open. Get them on in. Best way to support the show. Final Tuesday Night Titans of April. So let's go out with a bang here in the month of April. Get them on in. We'll hang out. And please leave a comment as well. Helps us out in the algorithm. All that stuff helps us out tremendously. And make sure you guys also listen to the audio stuff. I've been very good with it. It goes up almost immediately to my feed. So make sure you guys go and check that stuff out. We're doing really, really well over there with the audio side of things as well. All right, man. I usually give you the ball. This is not like the Mets fumbling a baseball at Citi Field, but you...
Fuck off.
Listen, man, when are they firing their manager? Man, the Phillies went ahead and fired their manager today.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault. I sympathize with him. We lost a doubleheader on Sunday, and so now we're back home and we're trying to turn our fortunes around.
I hope you do.
I hope so too. It's still April. There's still time.
My streak is going to come to an end eventually. We're going to go into a slump. You guys gotta gain some ground over there. You know.
That'll be our chance to catch up and pass you.
Well, there's $6 tickets to the game. You want to go?
I actually saw $5 tickets.
$5 tickets. Wow.
Yeah, and look, I'm not going to complain. You know, we talk so much about these ridiculous ticket prices to go to WWE shows. This is the way it ought to be, right? Full accessibility to anybody who wants to go to a Mets game right now. You know, you could take like 85 of your friends to Citi Field to see a Mets game for the cost of one ticket to a WWE show, and probably like up in the nosebleed somewhere. Yes,
you'll be paying 3 times more for beer than you are for a ticket to the game.
And probably 8 times more for parking. So my recommendation would be to take the train.
All right.
I wanted to point this out though.
Yeah.
I got a care package the other day. I was not anticipating. I don't know if you got the same thing.
I think I know where you're going with this. I got the same thing, I think.
Did you get these?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right. So
how are
I
they?
got this. Well, so I just cracked open this one. And again, this is not like paid promotion or anything like that. This is Seagram's spiked WWE Raw Watermelon Smash.
Yeah.
Okay, is what this one is. It is 10% alcohol by volume.
Oh my God.
And I just started it. And we'll see how much of this I get through over the course of this TNT, but it's not bad.
Okay.
It's not bad.
All right.
Like watermelon, strawberry, like that's kind of my thing. So yeah.
What is it? Is it like hard seltzer? What is it? What is it? Or is it a flavored alcoholic beverage?
It's a flavored alcoholic beverage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't open it yet. I got the box the other day. It's interesting. He may be a little loopy here by the time we get to the middle of the show. We'll see. All right, man. Let's get on with it. I'll give you the ball. What do you want to talk about?
What do I want to talk about? There's much to get into here. I don't know where to begin, because I feel like before we dive into all of the events of Friday, was there anything leading up to that we wanted to get into that happened before Friday night? WWE related?
No, not really. I mean, there was.
Okay.
WWE touted their numbers for WrestleMania. That's the biggest story that I heard. And then something about Brock Lesnar, where the company doesn't feel like Brock Lesnar's done wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, who gives a shit about the numbers? I mean, whatever. I don't care about that. All right, then maybe we should start there then, because there is a lot to get into on that. I was getting ready for SmackDown on Friday and was looking forward just to seeing like what new faces we might see on the show coming out of WrestleMania. We saw Ethan Page and we saw Ruca. We knew Joe Hendry was going to be coming to Raw. And like, are they going to move CM Punk, for example, over to SmackDown? And we didn't even see him on Raw last night. I have a feeling that's where he's headed. But like, what new faces were we going to see on Friday? And then the news dropped that it is Black Friday. And I feel like we go through this pretty much every year around this time, right? There's always this Black Friday mass wave of talent releases. And it was a pretty big list. And there were some surprising names on it, but one very surprising name in particular, that when I saw it, I was like, what? It just didn't make any sense to me. And then everything blew up, and I'm sure you talked about it on your end on Friday. I talked about it. So why don't we start with that unfortunate news? Yeah.
Black Friday happened in WWE. Black Friday meaning WWE and the yearly budget cuts. And the Wyatt Six, we'll start with them. Now, we got one by one. I think the first one that we got on Friday was Nikki Cross.
Well, before we even get into that.
Yeah.
Let's just point out, because I know when Fightful reported this initially, the word they used was these were people that have departed WWE.
Yeah.
Because we assume most of these are releases, but there could be some where they're just going to let people's contract expire. I think that's what they did with like Sonya Deville a few years ago. So it's possible that some of these are expirations, but I'm willing to bet that most of these are outright releases. So they still are with the company. They're going to be paid for the next 90 days if they're on the main roster. So it's technically like not a non-compete. It's just like, it's your notice that we're letting you go in 90 days.
Yeah.
And if you're an NXT person, it's 30 days. If your contract is expiring, you're free and clear to do whatever you want as soon as you want. So if somebody, let's say, were to shockingly pop up on television somewhere else in the next few weeks, that would indicate that their contract expired.
Yeah. I like the way, I've been critical of Sapp and the way he kind of, I feel like, favors some things over others. But I mean, he got blasted by several people online and including Zelina Vega this week. And it was, Sapp did not deserve any of the bullshit that came his way this weekend. Zelina, she went on her Twitch stream. She was streaming on Friday, and she mentioned Sapp basically telling him to fuck off because he reported the news before, quote unquote, she had a chance to tell her audience. And I talked about this on Friday. I talked about it again last night because people will they're just going on and on about who made these cuts, which we'll get into in a second. But, you know, nobody expects SAP or anybody to withhold this information and wait for all 24 of these people to get a statement out there to their fans. I mean, it could take, you know, a day. It could take a week before people say anything about their release from WWE. So it's his job to release the news. He did it in the best way he could possible. Zelina didn't like it, which, I mean, could be chalked up to that. She was upset that she got let go and her husband got let go. So she took her anger out on Sean, which was completely unwarranted, in my opinion. I know you talked about that too, didn't you?
Yeah, and from what I understand, there might have been some beef even prior to this where she wasn't fond of him, so that may have factored into it. But yeah, I mean, look, these people, they were caught off guard by that phone call that you don't want to get, that they lost their job. And so, of course, they're going to be very upset about that and very emotional, as anybody would be. But yeah, I'm looking at this, you know, from the outside looking in, and I'm like, I don't see what he did wrong here. You know, his job in these situations is to report the news. I'm sure he's verifying it first. He's not just going to run off and say somebody is released without verifying that that's the case. And once he's able to verify it, he runs with the news. That's how this works. You know what I mean? And so if you were to wait until everybody has the ability to report to their own social media followers and their own fans, there would be no news. No. That's not how this works. So,
or someone else would have reported it and not him.
Well, yeah, of course. PW Insider, Meltzer, you know, Corey from bodyslam.net, somebody else would have reported it regardless. So, yeah, in this situation, I mean, whatever you think of him or whatever, he did his job. And in this case, he did nothing wrong. But, you know, the social media mob just jumped all over him and was backing her up. And it just turned into a whole thing. And I'm like, I'm failing to see, you know, what great sin that he committed here. The whole thing was just completely ridiculous to me.
Yeah, Zelina was released earlier in the day. Like Jason said, Sap had to verify that, and then he put it out on his social media throughout the night. So there were stages to all of this. She just got angry at him because she got released from WWE as well as her husband did. The other thing, before I get into the names here, you know, a lot of people are like, TKO, they're blaming TKO, and they're blaming Ari Emanuel, and they're blaming Mark Shapiro and everybody else that we don't know their names of on the board of directors. A lot of people are like, oh, Zelina said that she got a call from TKO, and that's where the phone call came from. So, you know,
I know why that is.
Well, I'll explain why it is, because I had to go. It was like I was telling Jason in the sound check. It was like batting a bunch of flies away from a 4th of July barbecue with all the stupidity that I seen. The reason why Zelina said that TKO called her is because WWE has no human resources department. They were fired. There was no human resources department left. TKO got rid of them all, or Endeavor got rid of them all. And when TKO was formed, which is WWE and UFC, they were going to use the department that they already had on hand. So, of course, it was going to come from TKO. Ari Emanuel's not firing Zelina Vega or Dante Chen or fucking High Rise from NXT. They don't know anything about these people. I doubt they even watch the weekly shows. Maybe 51 weeks out of 52 weeks, and that's maybe one show during WrestleMania season.
You mean Mark Shapiro didn't look at the roster and say, hey, what's this Apollo Crews guy still doing here?
No, they didn't fire Zoey Stark. They don't fucking know who Zoey Stark is. So they gave Triple H and Nick Khan and whoever else there, Bruce or Talent Relations, a number. I need you to meet this number. We got to be here. So they go and cut. They cut. They get back to Ari and Endeavor with those names, and then that's the way the whole process works. I don't know what you got on your end, Jason, but holy shit, man. The sheer stupidity of everybody in the IWC. I'm still getting it today in comment section. Oh, it's TKO. What are you mad at Triple H for? He's the fucking chief content officer. You mean to tell me he has nothing to do with the content? The performers are a part of the content. Of course we should be mad at him. Vince did it, so he's doing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. I just don't understand the logic behind some of those comments. I don't know if these people are trolling. I don't know if they're being serious when they say these things. You know, the idea that the chief content officer, who is responsible for, you know, trying to figure out what talent he wants to use, where they go, and storylines and all of that, would not be consulted about this, and somebody above his head would be responsible for selecting these specific names that they want to release from the company. It doesn't make any sense, and it just reminds me of, like, in the past when certain people would be released. This is when Vince was still there. And every now and then there would be somebody, they would do an interview after, and they would be like, oh, no, Vince liked me, and I had a good relationship with Vince. It was somebody else who was responsible for, getting in his ear or making the final decision. And it's like, dude, it was Vince. Like, the guy that you are so complimentary of and you thought liked you, maybe he does like you, but he also was the one who just took your job away from you. And it's like, but in their mind, like, oh, no, it wasn't him. Like, I had this great, like, he's the boss. He's the final boss. He's the one ultimately who makes the decisions. And now it's Paul Levesque who's in that. Paul Levesque and Nick Khan, I'm sure they, consult each other. And he's the one in that role now. So the idea that he has no culpability in this and he has nothing to do with any of this, it just defies all logic. It doesn't make any sense, and it's just not true. So, yeah, I mean, it was very stupid. I don't know where this was coming from. It's just, it's ridiculous. Ari Emanuel does not have a mole in the writer's room who sits in for him and, has the power to make these types of decisions.
Sapp also put this out behind Fightful Select, and he confirmed that it was Nick Khan, Triple H, and human or talent relations. Yes, so
of course.
So we'll start with this: the Wyatt Six. Nikki Cross was the first name that people saw floating around on social media, and then obviously that opened up the floodgates to a point where the entire group was released. That includes Joe Gacy, Eric Rowan. We have Dexter Lumis, and even poor Uncle Howdy. Bo Dallas, gone. Now, this came together in 2024 as a tribute to Bray Wyatt. They feuded, I believe, with American Made. They feuded with The Final Testament. And then, Jason, our favorite, from November 2025 all the way up until April 2026, they feuded with the MFT.
Was it November? I thought it was even earlier than that.
Yes, it was November. Yes, I did my back research here. Yes.
I was like, holy shit! I thought it was the beginning of the fall that this thing kicked off.
Oh my god! Their debut was really good, and we saw that whole horror movie vibe scene where Chad Gable was laying in the corner of Gorilla, looked like he had a fucking sniper bullet to the head, and Uncle Howdy's walking all over these dead bodies in the back. It was a really great vibe. Everybody was excited to see what the story would be for the Wyatt Six and how they would be incorporated. The one thing that I said from day one is they cannot make the same mistake that they did with The Fiend. The Fiend was so supernatural and cheesy and corny, and we didn't see enough of that humanized version of Bray Wyatt. And when Bray was actually Bray, a lot of the fans kind of related to him. They wanted to hear more from him, and The Fiend was a great character where he morphed into this evil version of himself. And they made the same fucking mistake with the Wyatt Six. I don't think any point in this entire time they were on TV, we got to know who any of these people were, why they have donned the Wyatt family garb. We didn't get none of that. We didn't hear from Dexter Lumis or Joe Gacy or Eric Rowan. Very, very sparingly, but they did nothing to humanize any of these characters, and this is why they failed, in my opinion.
Well, the biggest head scratcher to me is the usage or lack thereof of Nikki Cross, for example, who has not wrestled a match in over 2 years. Like, they started this gimmick and she wears the creepy mask and she never wrestled a single time. So they basically took her from a wrestler to just being, I can't even say a manager. She was a character on the show who didn't do anything. So I don't understand that. Unless that was her choice, I don't understand how that came to be. As far as the rest of them, I mean, again, I agree with you in that not humanizing them on some level and making them unique individually and making them stand out more, branching out on their own. Dexter Lumis can have some singles matches. They didn't explore any of that. But I think, and this is what, again, some people are not going to want to hear this, but this is just the reality of the situation. It was a Bray Wyatt tribute act. It's really what this was. And if you weren't going to evolve it over time, it was always going to have a ceiling. I'm not saying they weren't popular, but this can only go so far. Yeah, I would get questions from people, do you think Uncle Howdy can fight for the world champion? I'm like, no. No. Uncle Howdy is not going to be fighting for the world championship, nor should he. Especially if you're just going to keep doing the same stuff and spinning your wheels. And we got the little VHS cut-ins, and that was it. Like, dude, what else did they do with this faction other than, again, feud with the MFTs over the lantern? They didn't do anything with them. So they had this incredible debut, which was very polarizing because there were people who were not into the whole, like, this is ridiculous. It looks like they murdered everybody. As a horror fan, I could appreciate that. But it was always going to be a question of, okay, where the hell do you go from here? How do you follow up on this? And they just didn't do a very good job of it. So I can't sit here and tell you that I'm shocked. I mean, it's jarring to see every single member of the faction just deleted all at the same time. And part of that does go on WWE Creative for not working with them to try to figure out, okay, how do we evolve this? Like, what is the next step here in the Wyatt Six? How do we keep this going, but in a different way? And they didn't do that. And so now they're all gone, and there's a lot of very talented guys in there. I saw MJF made a comment, Joe Gacy rules. I think some of these guys are going to end up doing very well for themselves on the independent scene, or if they want to sign somewhere else, TNA, wherever it may be. I wish them well. But this was always going to have a shelf life. And if you don't adapt and you don't evolve, then you die. Ultimately, that's what happened, to this gimmick. It wasn't going anywhere.
Listen, I'm a big fan of Dexter Lumis. I think Dexter Lumis has got a nice upside. He's on the older side of things. He's in his 40s, but I mean, he's in great shape. He's a very good wrestler.
I remember him from his Sam Shaw days in TNA. His whole gimmick going back to NXT was that he didn't speak. So we can't really talk about like him on promos or anything.
Well, that's what made him unique, in my opinion. I actually quite like that.
But at some point though, you got to start talking.
Yeah.
You can't go your entire run there without saying a word. You're only going to go so far. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. That's what I mean when I say evolve it, change it. Okay, you've been doing this for so long, and you're the mute guy who's kind of creepy. But like, okay, where do you go from there?
Yeah.
How do you communicate? Like, what is your purpose? Why are you here? What is it that drives you? What is it you want? If he just stands there and stares at you, okay, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with this.
Well, regardless, if Dexter's going to be hitting the indies in 90 days, I think Index, pairing with Indy Hartwell, may actually do very well for him or her together. I think that is something to definitely explore. Sure. Are you surprised that they let Bo Dallas go so willingly, even though he's the last true connection to Bray Wyatt, which I know a lot of people looked at him as a very important figure? The fact that Bo couldn't find anything to do for Bo, being that he's the last connection to Bray Wyatt. Are you surprised by that?
I mean, not really. I think that they were just looking at guys that they didn't really have any interest in pushing seriously. And realistically, if they were going to push him seriously, wouldn't you think they would have done that by now?
Sure.
I think it's been pretty apparent for the last year that they didn't really have anything terribly serious for him to do.
I don't think they had anything terribly serious for any of these guys. You know what it feels like to me? It almost feels like they did not want to write for them because either they didn't care or they just didn't know how to. So they're like, you know what? Just get rid of him. Goodbye.
I think they wanted to pay homage to Bray. And I think it was really cool that Bo had the chance to bring these characters to life and to do that. And he did. He had, almost a year and a half, whatever it was. And so I think that's a very cool thing. They had a whole attraction. They had like a whole haunted house that they built at Universal Studios last October.
Well, not anymore.
Well, yeah, it was one and done basically. But like you would think, that's why it was a little surprising 6 months later and now they're all fired. But I do think that in the time that he was there, I think he was able to pay tribute to his brother. Maybe I don't know if maybe that's all he really came back to do.
Maybe.
I don't know what his plans are in the future. Like he's going to hit the indies. He's going to want to go here, I don't know. I don't know what's in his head. I don't know if he still wants to wrestle. I don't know if he just wanted to come back and do this, for his brother. I don't know. But for what they were able to do, I thought that was very cool, at least that he was able to, to do that.
Well, they are gone, and the Wyatt Six are no more, and the Lantern has been burnt out completely. Goodbye. The one that was surprised, there was two here that were surprising. I didn't expect him or both him and her on this list, but Aleister Black and Zelina Vega gone from the WWE. Black His exit came after 1 year of being back with the WWE. His return actually happened following WrestleMania 41 on an episode of SmackDown where he got reintroduced to The Miz. And that was his return to the company. Black ended up defeating The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. He went on to kind of, I guess, just kind of float around the mid-card without doing much of anything important. Then they started using him a little bit more. He's got notable wins over Sami Zayn, and I think he beat Randy Orton on a recent edition of SmackDown before WrestleMania. So he was actually starting to pick up a little bit. He was in these backstage segments. He was like kind of watching from afar, and he was whispering in people's ears, and he was trying to bring out the real, but basically what Karrion Kross was doing before Karrion Kross got released himself. But Jason, he went to WWE, killed it in black and gold, got called up to the main roster, and we joke around that Vince kept him in a broom closet for 7 months. He ultimately got released. That was after WWE finally decided to give him the Dark Father gimmick, which everybody got excited about. And then 1 week after that, he was gone. He went to AEW. He basically took that, an extension of that to AEW. We got some really cool vignettes. He debuted on Dynamite in Miami, kicking Cody Rhodes in the face with the black mass. Everybody looked at him as like, oh man, that's going to be the next big guy, next world champion in AEW. He spent almost 4 years there, 4 years exactly there. And he wrestled, I can't even tell you how many singles matches, maybe 1, 2, 3 maybe singles matches. He wrestled a lot of tag team matches, a lot of six-man tag team matches. He ultimately left there to come back to WWE because Vince wasn't there and felt like Triple H was going to use him a little bit better. And then he only lasted a fucking year in the WWE. Like, I said this on Friday. Imagine being Aleister Black or Tommy End, going back to WWE thinking that Triple H is going to do what should have been done the first time, and you trust him, and then you end up getting released after a fucking year, man. That's heartbreaking. That's got to be so fucking sad for him.
I wonder, if it was a case of him, if it was more so his dissatisfaction with something about his run in AEW, or if he really just wanted to go back to WWE to work with, to be with his wife. And also because he had that great run in NXT while Triple H was there, figuring, oh, this guy's in my corner. He's an advocate for me. He knows me. He knows the character. And so this is a great situation for me to be in. So he got to go back there. He got to, work with his wife and travel with his wife. And Triple H was doing some stuff a little bit at the beginning. But you look at a lot of these black and gold guys, you got Gargano and Ciampa and people like that Triple H was so high on in NXT. And it's not like he's really stuck up for them on the main roster, creatively. So it's not like, oh, these are Triple H's guys, and he's going to really look out for them and come up with these, grandiose ideas for them. He really hasn't. It really didn't work out that way. And so now I know there's been some talk, and I think you're probably going to bring this up, of where he goes from here, and does he have a path back to AEW, if that's even a place that he would want to go back to. And it sounds like there might be some resistance to that idea.
Yeah, Dave Meltzer is reporting that there are some people in AEW that are pretty negative about the possibility of Aleister Black, or in this case, Malachi in AEW, Malachi Black returning. Meltzer says, from what I've heard, and you may have heard differently, the idea of Aleister Black in AEW was not fondly thought out by the people I spoke with there. Now, I did not speak to Tony Khan. Andrade was mixed. I know people there that were not high on Andrade at all, and others who were. Black, from what I gathered, pretty negative. There were even people who publicly said that they were negative on Black, says Dave Meltzer. And then he goes on to mention, I think it was actually mentioned that Captain Shawn Dean, who is with AEW, and I believe he wrestles on Ring of Honor, he actually replied with Black coming back to the company potentially with a resounding no. So I don't know how far that deep goes in AEW, but apparently he's not like there.
Yeah, I mean, it was either that or somebody pitched the idea of a return of the House of Black or something. But yeah, he said no. So not a lot of context to that. We don't really know if there's any heat there or what. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. He was
injured too. Didn't he go on and document that he was injured and that he got acupuncture and his back was really fucked up?
This was years ago. Yeah, he had a bad back issue, but then because he was wrestling so little, especially in singles matches, people were speculating that maybe there was a serious injury, maybe the back was still bothering him, and then he had a post on social media. He was very upset, like, I'm not hurt. It's not an injury. And basically, in so many words, like, I'm not the person to ask as far as why I'm not wrestling singles matches. Like, you're asking the wrong guy. Don't look at me, but I'm not hurt. And he was very upset about a lot of the speculation about, you know, his status and all that. So clearly that had gotten to him, and it's just a weird thing, dude. Like, even the Rusev stuff, Miro, and what happened there, and
yeah, I don't know. I think there was a similar instance where there was rumors going around that neither one of them wanted to lose or something along those lines, right?
There were always rumors about that. And again, separating fact from fiction, I don't know if that was the case with one of them, with both of them. But yeah, there was a lot of weirdness going on there that probably cut both ways. I don't think it was just a talent issue, and I don't think it was just a Tony Khan booking issue. I think both parties were responsible for how weird those two runs ended up being, and it just didn't make for a good combination. So I'm not even sure he would want to go back there. He has other options. You know, if he wanted to sign a contract somewhere, you have TNA as an option, and maybe he wants to do stuff, I don't know, outside the country. It's possible. And also, you know, for any of these talents, if they want to have a pipeline back to WWE, you would think that TNA would be an option. I don't know what TNA is paying these days. There have been comments. I know MJF just went fucking scorched earth on them a few weeks ago, you know, pay your talent and all that kind of stuff. But there have been stories about like their budget is only so big, and some people work per appearance deals. I don't know. I don't know where he would want to go, if he and Zelina both would want to kind of go together. But look, I mean, dude, if they want to work independently and kind of book their own events together, they'd make a hell of an attraction. I think they would do well. I just don't know what their ultimate goal would be. But he's someone, dude, it's so crazy. Like, he beat Randy Orton, I believe it was in February. He pinned Randy Orton on SmackDown. And he pinned Sami Zayn not long after that, right, who went on to win the United States Championship. So this guy has 2 pinfall wins over Sami Zayn and Randy Orton this year on television. And then PW Insider had the story that there was at least a serious pitch a few months ago for him to have a match at WrestleMania with Randy Orton, with the idea that Randy Orton would hesitate on the punt kick because he's been trying to pull the old Randy Orton out of him, which we saw, by the way, on television. So we know that at least a germ of the idea made it onto TV. He was talking about the old Randy Orton, 2009 Randy Orton, right? You saw those segments.
Yes.
And so the idea, I guess, was that they would wrestle at Mania, and he would hesitate to hit him with the punt. Black would win, and then Orton would come back out at the end of the show, and he would deliver the punt kick to Cody Rhodes. So think about this. Like, this potentially could have been his role at WrestleMania. He went from potentially that to not even being on the WrestleMania card. He was tossing the Andre Battle Royal, and then a week later, he's fired.
We got Pat McAfee instead.
Basically, yeah. I mean, it wasn't exactly the same idea, but it was very similar.
Yes.
They basically, Ari came in and said, hey, I got a guy we can use here to bring out the old Randy Orton, and we got Pat McAfee.
So if it would have been Aleister and Randy, more than likely it would have been the original plan that we talked about with Cody, Drew, and Jacob Fatu in a triple threat match, no?
Well, I don't know about Fatu. Maybe, but it would have at the very least been Cody and Drew. Possibly, maybe Hell in a Cell.
Looking back at it, I like those plans a lot better now. Looking back at what we got on night one.
Well, I mean, I think both of us were in agreement. We didn't need another singles match between Cody and Drew at WrestleMania because we had seen it so many times. But look, in hindsight, there's a lot of things. Look, the 4-way idea would have been better than what they did.
Mm-hmm.
If they would have gone with a fatal 4-way with Cody and Drew and Jacob and Randy, I would have been cool with that. So, I mean, we could sit here and look back and say, oh, this would have been better and that would have been better. But it's just crazy to me that they were at least having conversations about, hey, this guy wrestling Orton at WrestleMania and being in a prominent spot. How do you go from that to being released?
I don't know.
How does that happen?
This one stumped me. I don't know. And then people were like, well, maybe he just wasn't that good. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna listen to a bot on social media telling me that Tommy End is not good. Give me a break.
Well, I think, if anything, I would think maybe it had more to do with he may have had a big contract and they were looking at it and saying, you know what, he's making a lot of money here and we're not using him. And so he kind of fell into that bad territory where it made him expendable. I don't know. I'm trying in my head to try to figure out like how some of these names end up on this list. And I would imagine at the end of the day, especially with TKO, it comes down to money.
Yeah.
And if you're making too much money, that's going to work against you.
So we got a lot of dark characters released here. So maybe WWE is just not, they don't know how to book the dark gimmick. I don't know.
Danhausen.
Well, he's more of a
he's all over the place.
He's all over. Yeah, that's the
problem. Is he not dark? He's putting curses on people.
I guess he's like a fucking weird magician. That's at points. I don't know what he is. Zelina, she's gone. Queen of the Ring, first ever Queen of the Ring, former United States champion. You know, LWO. She was in the LWO for many, many months. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Zelina on television. I always go back and just look at her run with Andrade as like a manager, valet / mouthpiece for Andrade. I thought she fucking killed it in that act. Her solo, not really much to talk about there. Her United States Championship run was not really all that exciting. In fact, it wasn't good at all. And then they paired her with her husband, and she went back to doing the managerial thing, and I thought she played the role well. You know, she was very believable in that role alongside Black, and they had a nice chemistry, obviously, because they're husband and wife. And she's gone. So, like you said, I think they'll kill her on the indies, no matter what they do. If they stay together, which I'm assuming they will be in high demand for sure. Just a very confusing situation. I thought like you said, Triple H loved his black and gold, and then all of a sudden it's just like, goodbye, nothing for you. Motor City Machine Guns. This one was not really surprising. You could see the role that they took on Friday night. I mean, we saw less of them in the ring and more of them trying to convince Johnny Gargano not to lie on a crate backstage. Like I said, Jason, not surprising. They won the tag team championships within the first 2-3 weeks that they were there. They beat the Bloodline for the tag team championships. They haven't done much at all since that. It almost felt like WWE did everything they could to not feature them. And now everybody's talking about them going to AEW because when their 90 days are indeed up, I think a week before that, the Dynamite that they are free will be in Detroit. And I could see Tony Khan absolutely bringing them in. And we may end up getting the Young Bucks versus the Motor City Machine Guns by the time All In or Full Gear rolls around. So I think they will end up in AEW.
I think it's July 29th, I believe. They're in Detroit.
Yeah.
So by then, their 90 days would be up. So... Look, I mean, when we were hearing about them either going to WWE or AEW, it was between those two. And they have friends there, and they chose WWE, and I can understand why, because they were together as a team for 18 years, and it's like, dude, it's now or never. Yeah. You know, we either take the opportunity and see how we do and how it goes, or we look back on it and go, man, what would have happened, you know, if we would have signed there. So I can't speak for them. I don't know if they necessarily have any regrets. They had a run. Here's the biggest reason why it didn't work out. Because WWE does not give a shit about their tag team divisions.
Yeah.
That more than anything is what killed these two. The tag team division on SmackDown sucks. The tag team division on Raw sucks. And so if you are a tag team, that sucks. Because you're not in a very good situation right now. So they were doomed regardless of whether you think they were over, they were not over, they were good, they were not good. They're a great team. And I have no doubt that Tony Khan will bring them into AEW and add them to the tag team division, and they'll kill it, you know, with teams like the Bucks and FTR, and we'll get some killer matches out of it.
Jason's using the term sucks lightly to describe the tag team division on Friday Night SmackDown. Do you realize that we're left now with the MFTs, Damian Priest and R-Truth, and The Miz and Kit Wilson as a tag team?
That can't be. No, there's got to be more than that. Who are we missing here? We're definitely missing some.
That's the Street Profits. Oh, the Garzas. I'm sorry. The Garzas.
Okay. But I still feel like we're missing people. So the Wyatts are gone. We know that. Motor City Machine Guns are gone. Street Profits were moved over to Raw.
Yeah. Telling you, the MFTs, Priest and Truth, Miz and Kit Wilson, and then the Garzas, yeah.
That's even more dire than I thought, if that's the case. And then on
no
Raw,
no NXT tag teams got called up. I don't even know what
we
tag
had Fraxium.
Who? That. I mean, they're like the Machine Guns. They haven't been on television. They're trying to convince Johnny to get up from the crate.
Yeah, so we have Fraxium. I don't know where they've been. Someone said the Creeds. I couldn't even tell you what brand the Creeds are on. We haven't seen them in so long. Last time I saw the Creeds,
they made the cut. I don't know, man.
Last time I saw the Creeds, they were in NXT. So I don't know what they're up to these days. But you look at the tag team division on Raw. We have the Street Profits now. We have the Vision. We have
the Usos.
What are the other? Oh yeah, of course, the Usos.
We're struggling. We
Otis
watch the
and
show.
Tozawa?
We
Alpha
watch the
Academy.
show every week. We're struggling to figure out who the tag teams are.
This is what I mean, okay? The tag team divisions are non-existent, and they have 2 sets of tag team titles. Now, explain to me how that makes any sense. Why do you need 2 sets of tag team titles when you have no division?
I don't know. I don't know.
Explain that to
This
me.
would be the first thing I would change, honestly.
So anyway, the Motor City Machine Guns are actually going to be a lot better off. frankly.
New day. Yeah, when Xavier Woods is not hurt, sure.
The Motor City Machine Guns are going to be just fine. They're actually going to thrive and do better elsewhere because WWE does not give a shit about tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
This will benefit them in the long run.
Yes. Kaylee Ray, also known as Alba Fire, gone. 649-day reign as NXT UK Women's Champion, Jason. What's the point of NXT in doing all this great stuff down there or over there and then get the call up to NXT proper and then maybe the main roster and then everything that you did previously is just a complete waste of time. I thought Alba Fire did very well for herself in NXT when they moved her over and changed her name to Alba Fire. Coming over from NXT UK. I like the vibe. I like the gimmick, the fiery red hair. She had that baseball bat, kind of like Negan-esque. And then she gets called up to the main roster, and they don't know what to do with her. She gets placed in the Chelsea Green faction. And as soon as Piper Niven went down and Chelsea Green was left with Alba Fire, I mean, it was basically all she wrote there. Which
Well, it used to be Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. They got rid of Isla Dawn, and so then they put her with the Secret Hervis, and that's how she kind of ended up with Piper Niven. Piper Niven's out with a neck injury, and she was just doing the Secret Hervis gimmick, which, by the way, is a very tired gimmick that they have run into the ground. Chelsea Green she's so much better than this Secret Hervis.
She's a slagent, Jason. Alba Fire. That's what they call her.
Excuse me? She's a what?
They call her the slagent. Slagent A.
Who calls her that?
Chelsea Green.
I've never heard Chelsea call her that ever.
Yeah, she's one of her slagents, yeah.
Well, this gimmick needs to die because I don't like it.
Oh, the War Raiders are a tag team. Yes, see, you guys are coming in handy. I didn't know that. Thank you.
And are they on Raw?
Yes, they're on Raw. I'm surprised they made the cut too. I don't know. Maybe they got contracts coming up.
I don't know.
Yes, Alba Fire gone. I mean, listen, AEW's got women's tag team titles. Isla Dawn apparently is working Ring of Honor. I mean, maybe they get back together. Kaylee Ray going over there. I'm assuming she could kill it over there with Willow and Stat, and Mercedes is coming on back, and we got Tekla. So.
Or look, I mean, they got the Knockouts division in TNA. So, I mean, they have options. You know, they have options. And wherever she goes, it would be impossible for them to use her any less than WWE was using her.
Yeah.
So for a lot of these people, and I think it's easy to forget about this. Like, it's one thing to be like, oh, I'm in WWE and I'm making good money or very good money. A lot of these people, I'm sure they want to work. They want to wrestle. And they don't even have live events anymore. They barely have any house shows.
Yeah.
So Alba Fire, for example, is someone who she is limited to being in the background wheeling Chelsea Green around in her wheelchair. She's barely even wrestling herself. Maybe she wants to work. That's why I say, like, I look at some of the names on this list, and I'm like, this could end up being the best thing that they could have asked for. Steph DeLander came out the other day with a message and tried to, it's almost like a motivational speech. Like, when I got released from WWE, looking back at it, it's the best thing that happened in my career.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about a lot of these people on this list, that when we look back, or they look back 6 months, a year from now, they're going to feel the same way. You know, there is life outside of WWE, and maybe she'll actually get to wrestle and show people what she can do. Tommaso Ciampa, when he came to AEW, he talked about how angry he was that he would see social media comments like, oh man, black and gold Ciampa, man, he used to be so great back then. And it would aggravate the shit out of him because in his mind, he's like, I'm better than that guy. But nobody sees it.
Well, we see
It's
it.
true.
We see it now. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we see it now. All right. That's what I mean. A lot of these people are going to be fine and they'll actually get to work and they'll get to wrestle.
So Kaylee Ray, Alba Fire gone. Zoey Stark was one of the more egregious releases because I still have those shrieks and those screams back from May 19, 2025 in my head every time I think back to it. What a terrible, terrible injury. Torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus. She was actually cleared. This is the worst part about it, Jason. She actually received medical clearance to return to the ring, and she got cut on Friday. She did have a small run on the main roster with the Pure Fusion Collective. That's Shayna Baszler and Sonya Deville, who are no longer with the company. Shayna is doing her own thing. Some agenting work in NXT, and Sonya is with TNA. And she was actually pretty popular in NXT. Shawn Michaels loved her. They really kind of pushed her against all the big names down there at the time. Didn't really do much of anything else in the main roster, but she was about to come back, and then goodbye. You don't have a job anymore. So I know I heard Bully Ray's comments, and it's tough to disagree with what Bully Ray said. If she wants to wrestle, and if I'm Tony Khan, I give that woman 5 fucking minutes to go do what she's got to do and say what she's got to say. I think that would do tremendous for her. I don't know how you feel about that and what he said about that, but I think she'll be fine too. I think she's got a huge chip on her shoulder now.
Yeah, I hope she can make it back from the injury, because it was one of the worst injuries I've seen in the ring in a very long time. And just the way her leg bent and everything. Oh God, it was awful. So I want her comeback story to be a success, and I think that she'll, like you said, have a chip on her shoulder. She wants to get back in the ring and show people that, I could still be the person I was before. And, you haven't seen anything yet. And so anywhere she lands, any women's division, she would, I think, make a solid contribution to it. Just like I felt like she would have in WWE, where they have 2 women's mid-card titles. Now, before all this happened, I figure when she comes back, she would be, a lock to be kind of working with those women and wrestling for those championships. Hopefully she'll be able to come back, stay healthy, and she'll kill it wherever she goes.
The other one that was released while injured was Santos Escobar. He actually got hurt not too long ago. They moved him down to AAA, and he was supposed to do something down there. The funny thing is, Santos, he had a contract lapse. He was able and free to walk. They ended up bringing him back. They kept him on ice for about 3 months and then decided, hey, we got this guy still contracted. Let's do something with him. Instead of bringing him back to the main roster, they put him down in AAA.
Dude, this is the most bizarre thing to me. So he opts to not re-sign with them, right? They make him an offer. I believe they were making him an offer. He wanted to leave.
For more money.
Well, so here's the thing. So his contract, I think his contract actually did expire, and he was going to go elsewhere. For whatever reason, they felt it was so important to keep this guy. Not that they were doing that much with him, but they really, I guess they just didn't want him going to AEW. It's the only thing I could figure. And the reports were that he got a big fat pay raise. Like, they paid him a lot of money, and he wanted some assurances creatively, like, you have ideas for me. So he re-signs with them. And I'm like, I don't know if this was his plan all along, but like, all right, savvy guy, good for him. He's got himself a bigger contract now. But again, that puts a target on your back when it comes time for, whether it's post-Mania cuts or whatever. This is what I think probably did him in, is the fact that he probably had a big fat contract, and they're like, all right, we can get rid of this guy. But yeah, they re-signed him, and then, dude, how many months? 3 months, 4 months? We hear nothing. And then there was a report that came out that said, oh, he kind of fell through the cracks. Like
how big was that fucking crack?
It's like a pen that you drop on the floor and it like rolled under the table and you didn't realize it was there. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Especially if you're paying this guy a lot of money. And then eventually he pops up in AAA. And I just remember the last match I saw him in. It was on that Rey de Reyes show back in March. He was in a 4-way match.
I watched that too.
And he didn't look himself.
No,
like, he didn't look very good. And I'm like watching the live chat. And there are people like, what's wrong with Santos? He's botching. Is he injured? Yeah, he had a torn triceps. I think he actually tore it in January. I don't know if he didn't know it was torn or he just kept wrestling with it. So that was the injury he had surgery for. He just had another surgery within the last few weeks because there was a hiccup and something with the ulnar nerve, which, if you're a baseball fan, I think that's he may have had Tommy John surgery. So good thing is he doesn't pitch, so he won't be out for the 18 months that normally pitchers would be out for, but he just had another surgery, and then they fired him. Which goes to the point that I've made before, where I always use the Good Brothers as an example here. If you remember when they re-signed them several years ago to like 5-year contracts, and then I don't even know if it was 5 months later, they got fired.
Yeah.
You have to remember, like, it doesn't matter. You can sign a 20-year contract. It doesn't matter. They can get rid of you anytime they want. Now, in those 20 years, you can't go anywhere, but they can get rid of you anytime they want. There's no real job security. It doesn't matter how big or small the contract is that you signed. If Aleister Black came back last year and signed what I think was rumored to be a 3-year deal, he lasted 1 year, and they got rid of him. You don't have job security with this company.
No. And Santos Escobar, it was rumored that he signed for more money, and they sent him down to AAA. He's now no longer with the company. Before he signed back with the WWE, there were rumors that he may end up in CMLL, and there were discussions there. I just read this before we went live. And apparently now, as soon as he is rehabilitated and healed up, that those discussions will probably go back on for him to go to CMLL, which I wouldn't be surprised, being that they are in partnership with AEW. I think that would be a good deal for him. And I always think back to the Nick Khan quote. He was on the Bill Simmons podcast, and he says, which, I mean, aged like fucking curdled milk on top of the kitchen counter on a hot summer day. He's like, we don't sign and bench people. We sign people who we want to use. If another entity signs and benches people now, that's not something we would do, says Nick Khan. Oh, yeah? Why don't we ask Santos Escobar that?
Well, Nick Khan has he's evolved his positions over time. Now, I said ulnar nerve was Tommy John. Is it ulnar nerve, or someone in the chat said UCL is?
I thought it was UCL. Yeah.
Is it UCL?
Yeah.
Let me see. I have to retake my anatomy class here.
Uh-oh.
Well, no, that is UCL. Ulnar collateral ligament.
Oh, you all right then? All right. Look,
unless the ulnar nerve is different.
Listen, Shaq.
I see. Yeah, I think I'm right, but if I'm wrong, somebody will correct me.
Chad, are you denying the solid monster? Come on now. That's not something we should do.
Are you denying Dr. Monster here? Doesn't know his medical knowledge.
Anyway, Santos is gone. Apollo Crews is gone. After all this time, Apollo Crews is gone. He got main roster money, Jason, for a good 10 years, and he outlasted 11 years. How many cuts did he make? Quite a few.
How many cuts did he make?
Did he survive?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Maybe he subscribed to, I always remember reading JTG's book where it's like, man, I shouldn't have answered my phone.
Yeah.
And he mastered, I guess, the art of just not answering his phone is the only thing I could guess. But good for him. Good for him. But before he went to WWE, he was pretty popular on the indies as Uha Nation. So I wonder if he plans on going back there or wants.
So hopefully we see him. Hopefully we see him walk through Hog. I think that's a good pickup.
That'd be great.
The other names here listed, I'm going to save the most confusing for last, obviously. You guys know what I'm talking about. Andre Chase was released from NXT. There was no shelf life for that gimmick on the main roster. It was just a more comedic Dean Douglas, really.
Yeah, he was never going to the main roster. No. I think even in his farewell video, he may have made a comment about this. Like, when he signed with them, they made it very clear what his role was going to be. I don't even think he was supposed to be on television at all. So the Chase U stuff ended up being like a happy accident.
Yeah.
So I don't think he ever expected to be on the main roster regardless.
Other names here after Chase, Tyra May Steele, who won LFG. I don't know why we have LFG and we're crowning winners of LFG to get a WWE contract only for them to be released. What's the point of the show? But I don't know if she was on NXT or not. And she had that Olympic gold medalist background. She's also the one that put out a very bizarre tweet about the dream that she had, and people kind of mistakenly put it out that she was talking about being fired from WWE. Maybe she has a special gift and a premonition of sorts. I don't know, because she
ended up. And if anybody in the chat, because I see all the messages, if anybody at any point has any issues where JD is muted or I'm muted, just refresh and that should fix it, because I think everything is working on our end.
Yes, hit refresh. My OBS refresh. Yes. What did I say? No,
I'm telling them refresh.
Oh yes. Oh, okay.
I'm not talking to you.
Hit refresh. My OBS literally crashed for a second. It connected and disconnected. So just do that. It happens. It happens. Tyra May still gone. I don't know if she had any time on NXT, but apparently they didn't think she was worth keeping around. Dante Chen. I'm sure Mark Shapiro and Ari Emanuel's favorite out of all these 24. Dante Chen released. High Rise, Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe gone. I never watched one match from these guys, so pardon me if I don't know who they are. Luca Crucifino gone. He actually put out a statement on social media saying he's retiring from pro wrestling completely. We'll see how long that lasts. Carly Bright released, another PC up-and-comer there. Malik Blade, he's gone. And we got Chris Island, Serena Linton, and Trill London, Jason. One of your favorites, Trill London, no longer with the company.
Yeah. There was another one also we found out about on Sunday, Carly Bright. Did you mention her name?
I just mentioned her. Yeah, Carly Bright. Yeah.
You did? Okay. I didn't hear it. So,
what's about her? I've never heard of her before.
I mean, she just wasn't part of the initial list. So there could be other NXT cuts that have taken place. We just haven't heard about them yet.
Yeah. So those are all the names that I have here. Obviously, the most confusing of them all and the one that caused the most stir on social media was one Kairi Sane. Now, there was a report that was put out by Dave Meltzer today saying that she wanted to go back to Japan and she wanted to go back home. I think she came out and said something about things being said and kind of maybe dumb down the rumors in her own little way, in her own
So,
little
way. It wasn't a report. I mean, he was apparently having a conversation on, I guess, Observer Radio with Brian Alvarez and said that he thought. So, again, that word is doing a lot of heavy lifting and people run with it as if it's being reported as fact. But he thought that it might have been a situation where she wanted to go back home, which I believe is how she left the first time.
Yeah.
I think she wanted to go back to Japan, and so she did. And so he was just talking about it and said, I think that might have potentially been what happened here. Kairi just put out a tweet in the last few hours in so many words, basically saying that this was not her decision.
Yeah, so this was her second run with the company. Her first run was really good. Started off in NXT. She was a part of that first ever Women's Evolution show. I think she wrestled Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship on that show, and she just had a huge following, a lot of upside to her. She left the company only to come back in November of 2023 to help Io Sky retain the women's championship at Crown Jewel that year, and she joined Damage Control alongside Sky, Asuka, Bayley, and Dakota Kai, now Charlie, on the Indies, and then she came into the Kabuki Warriors again back with Asuka. And there was a storyline, Jason, that was developing from, I don't even know when. It had to be just around the same time we talked about with the MFTs and the Wyatts. It was fall of last year, and we got it all the way up until this year, really. It started the year off on Monday Night Raw on January 5th with the tag team titles with Rhea and Io. And there was just this whole story about Io and Rhea's relationship and them kind of feuding with the Kabuki Warriors, and Kairi was kind of being manipulated or bullied by Asuka. And the whole story eventually revolved around Kairi and Asuka's just bullying of Kairi on television, to a point where we got to WrestleMania season and a lot of people were like, oh, Rhea's in a feud with Jade for the World Championship. What is Io going to do? A lot of people pointed to Io and Asuka, with Kairi being the centralized figure in that entire storyline. We did not get them at WrestleMania. People were like, oh, we'll just get it at Backlash. And that's where we were going. The only thing is, last Monday, we got Io versus Kairi on Monday Night Raw, and that was the last time we saw her, and now she's not a part of the storyline, yet we're still getting Io and Asuka at Backlash, which was announced last night on Raw. So a lot of people were confused by this. We even got chants of We Want Kairi on Monday Night Raw, which they completely dumbed down and went right to the next segment when they started happening. And a lot of people have been going on with the hashtag We Want Kairi on social media to no avail as of right now. This was just, it's not even infuriating to a point as to what they did to Kairi here, but as a fan watching this, it's almost like, why the fuck are you wasting my time for all these months to not give me a proper payoff? Like, I'm interested in Io and Asuka now, Backlash, but I'd be lying to you if I told you my interest is at the same level before this release. It's not. Like, this is a slap in the face of the fans, and a lot of people don't really understand why Triple H would make this decision in the middle of a storyline before we actually got the true payoff. What the hell is going on here?
Yeah, I mean, that's what made me think, like, is there something else going on here? I mean, was there, like, for example, I don't know when Kairi's contract was up. Is this a case where her contract was coming up and they were talking about a new deal and couldn't come to an understanding? Like, I was trying to rationalize it in my brain. Like, there must be something else going on. I still feel like there is something else we don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Everything was building to that moment where she would finally stand up to Asuka. And it could have been a WrestleMania moment had they put them at, which they absolutely could have fit that match in on night 2 if they wanted to. But maybe it was left off WrestleMania, again, because they knew something was going on and we didn't. And so I feel like there's going to be more information that comes out that we're not aware of, because right now it's just it's a terrible look for them. You know, you have this story that people have been watching for months play out on television. And they were building all of this sympathy for this one character. Dude, she was the centerpiece of this story. She was the focal point. And now she's gone, and Io and Asuka are going to go out there and have, I'm sure, a very good match. And I'm looking forward to the match, but it's not going to hit the same way now.
No.
And they're not, what they're fighting for is essentially the reason they're fighting, or what they're fighting for, isn't even there anymore. It doesn't exist. It feels hollow. And did you see what they did last night in that Asuka video promo, where they basically, it's like they gave Kairi the Benoit treatment in this video package, where it's like she just never even existed.
I saw her there just briefly. There was like a moment I saw her.
Oh, a fleeting moment, yes. Because there were other things there where you could clearly see like she was cut off at like the edge, and I'm like, man, like it doesn't make any sense to me. It's very, very, very weird. That's the one that shocked me the most, more than Aleister, more than any of these other people. When I saw her name on the list, I said, this doesn't make any sense to me. She got a pinfall win the Monday before WrestleMania over Io. And then they had the tag match on the Raw after WrestleMania. So she was on the show every single week. She was being used, and they were building to this match. And now they're going to do it, and Kairi ain't around no more. You explain to me. That's why I think there's something more to this. I don't know what it is. Kairi putting that statement out basically refuted all of these rumors that are going around that this was something that she asked for. So if she didn't ask for it, then this was a decision that was made by Triple H and Nick Khan and the powers that be. And fans would like to know why. I'm curious myself.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just sad. I feel bad for all these individuals. It's just the nature of the beast. I don't know where she ends up going. She could easily go back to Japan, which, I mean, she's there now, reportedly. Yeah.
Apparently she's there now.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tony offers her a whole lot of money to come and wrestle fucking Tekla and Mercedes and Tony Storm. I mean, she'd fit in like a fucking glove over there. I don't know how you feel about where she's going to end up.
I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of promotions, like women's promotions, Joshi promotions over there that are thriving and doing well right now. Again, whether it's Stardom, Marigold. So, I mean, she can basically work wherever she wants. Dude, every company is going to be rolling out the red carpet if she wants to come work for them.
Yeah.
She's not going to be struggling to find work. And if you look at her social media messages, she's going to wrestle. Like, this is not a case where she's like not wrestling anymore. She's going to wrestle, and where she wrestles is going to depend, I guess, on who wants her bad enough.
Well, those are the releases. There could be more. We are not really sure. We've seen in past that we've got the first initial wave of releases, and then there are other kind of minor releases, whether they are performance center talent or people that work at the offices in Stanford. So we don't really know. So we'll keep an eye and an ear out for what's going on there. But those are the names.
Those are the names, and I just want to say this: like we hear this news every single year, and it's not a case where it's like you get angry about every single cut. How could they do this? The reality is, like, talent comes in, talent has to go out.
Yeah,
you can't just keep signing and signing and signing and not get rid of people. Like, we've talked about this before. You end up with a very bloated roster, not just a budget, but a very bloated roster. So yes, there's turnover. Turnover is natural in any organization. We understand that. And with the NXT and Performance Center cuts, I can understand them maybe looking at some of these people whose names I don't know who half these people are. And some of them maybe weren't even on television yet. And if you don't progress fast enough, they're going to get rid of you. Like within whatever it is, 6 months or whatever, if they feel like you're not progressing fast enough, they will get rid of you. And we'll probably get the announcement any day now, I'm guessing, of like a new class of Performance Center recruits. So I'm sure that's coming. And we also have new faces that are debuting on television right now. Ethan Page and Sol Ruca. And, we had Fatal Influence on Friday and Ricky Saints. So yes, you got to make room for some of the call-ups as well. So we understand all of that. It's natural, but we look at some of these names and it's just very frustrating because some of them you just feel like this person didn't really get a fair shake to show what they can do or try to draw money. Or in the case of a Kairi, if they were actively involved in a storyline, what the fuck sense does it make to get rid of them before you pay that story off? That's what's so frustrating for us when it comes to this stuff. That's why we talk about it. That's why we get aggravated about it, because there's always at least those one or two names in there that you look at and you go, what the fuck were these people thinking? And so sure enough, in this wave, we had names like that here as well. We don't have a really good explanation for some of it, but we understand that people are going to come in, people are going to go out. That's just the nature of the beast, right? You can't just keep signing without cutting.
Yeah, it's the year we were all like shocked when we found out that Bray Wyatt was getting released. I'm like, what the fuck? Of all the people, you're going to release him? So there's always a name or two that's like, what the fuck is this guy doing on this list? It's like you mentioned, it's all. Some of these guys are making way more money than they should, and the company says, you know what? Let's get rid of them. So they'll all be fine. I mean, the indies are hot. There's so many places for people to work nowadays, and everybody's going to be fine. So I mentioned on Friday, if you really genuinely care about these people, go to a show, come out to a House of Glory show, go to a GCW show, MLW, go buy merch, support wherever you can. Cross is killing it on the indies. He's everywhere. Go support, go watch. These guys are easily accessible. These women are easily accessible now. So everybody's going to be fine.
And some of these people are going to be back there. I mean, look at some of the names that were cut this time. This is not their first time getting cut, right? No. Aleister Black and Zelina and Kairi. So some of them will end up back in WWE. Sometimes you leave and you make yourself into a bigger name.
Yeah.
And then you come back and you sign for more money because you're more in demand than you were the first time.
So with these departures, there is now a wave of newcomers on television, and we got a lot of them on TV this week, with some still yet to debut and coming soon. We'll start with SmackDown, being that we're talking about SmackDown here. We had Jacy Jayne and all of Fatal Influence. That's Fallon Henley and Lainey Reed. We got Ricky Saints debuting this Friday, and we got one of our favorites. I love her. I know Jason does as well. Blake Monroe is coming to Friday Night SmackDown, which is going to glamorize Friday nights, which I think she's great and she can glamorize anything, but I think it's going to take more than Blake Monroe to glamorize SmackDown. What do you make of, we'll start with SmackDown here. What do you make of the call-ups on Friday night, Jason? I know you and I have been very kind of up and down with Fatal Influence, and they are... I wouldn't say they're polarizing. I mean, listen, I've been very hard on Jacy Jayne. We didn't really get what the whole appeal was with Jacy Jayne, but I got to tell you, man, she's actually come along. I watched her the last year. She actually is very good at what she does, and like I said with Coach this morning, she wrestles like one of the guys. She goes in there and just fucking balls to the wall, just wrestles. So I really appreciate that. And the heat that they got, whether it was manufactured or not, it did sound a little piped in, but I mean, people that were in my chat that were in the building for Friday Night SmackDown said they couldn't hear anything, so the reaction was actually legitimate. I thought they had a great debut on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Sol Ruca last Monday, where her first night in, and she's wrestling Liv Morgan, non-title. And so on Friday, Jacy's first night in, and she's wrestling Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good sign for her. We know Shawn Michaels was very high on her, and she had, I think, a couple of runs. Well, at least one run as the NXT Women's Champion. She held the TNA Knockouts title. And 2025 was a real kind of coming out year for her. So the women's division getting an infusion of 3 women at once with this faction, I think, is huge. And then you throw Blake Monroe in there, and all of a sudden you got Rhea Ripley, Blake Monroe, and Fatal Influence. That will go a long way towards freshening up a women's division that really needed something like that. So I think those moves are great. I think Ricky getting the call up is natural. I think if CM Punk ultimately ends up on SmackDown, those two are going to be working together in the not too distant future.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting that Ricky is going to the same brand that Royce Keys, just debuted on, and they have history together in Team Taz. So there's a past relationship there with the two of them. So I like a lot of these moves. Like if you look at the SmackDown roster, Rhea being there now, let's assume Punk ends up there, because I just can't see him sticking around on Raw with Roman there. To me, that doesn't make any sense. A
full-time Roman, yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense because they're not going to work together anytime soon. So let's say Punk goes to SmackDown. You got Rhea, you got all the people that we just mentioned. That's a great start. If you're looking to really freshen up a show that could desperately need it, I like the moves that have been made. And maybe they're not done. Maybe there's one more name that gets called up. we could talk about call-ups all day long. You and I both know at the end of the day, the thing that matters the most is what do you do with those names, right? Once they're there. That's what I'm waiting to see. This is all great. I love the moves. It's not going to mean a hill of beans if these people aren't being used, in a productive way. So time will tell on that. But I love the moves on SmackDown. And then as far as the moves on Raw, last week, and I know we touched on this on TNT last week, we saw Ethan Page. I'm very high on Ethan Page's ceiling on the main roster. I would be very surprised if he is not holding the Intercontinental title within 6 months.
By SummerSlam.
He's already, dude, he's already, like, second week in a row, he's already in the mix. Like, he's there with Penta and Rusev and all those guys. So, very high on him. I think he's a great addition. So, Ruca is great. She's got 8 staples now in the back of her head after that fall from the crow's nest last week.
As soon as we finished last week, I went to go watch what everybody's talking about. My God, she's a trooper. I'll tell you that, man.
Yeah, that was rough. That was a rough landing, and it could have been worse. It could have been worse. So she's already a superstar. I mean, look at the reaction she got her first night in last week.
Yeah.
So she's a great call up. And then last night we had Joe Hendry in concert singing a song. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not the best week to be singing a song, wishing that someone should be fired. But, he was singing about Logan Paul. Let's fire Logan Paul. And he's going to do fine. I mean, he was already kind of over last night. It's like the Danhausen thing. I know there were a lot of people who weren't sure what kind of success Danhausen would have. I always looked at Danhausen as somebody who fit better in WWE than he did in AEW. Joe Hendry has gotten over everywhere he's went, right? TNA, NXT. I think on the main roster, he'll do well. I don't see him having the same ceiling he did in those other places. I don't see him wrestling for the World Heavyweight Championship or being successful in that endeavor, but that doesn't mean that he can't be a big part of that roster. So I'm happy for him. He's a good dude. And to see him getting that opportunity, it's been a long time coming. So I like these call-ups.
Yeah, I like these too. This is a nice crop of call-ups. I could see Joe Hendry factoring into that IC title mix, which right now is very competitive. SmackDown also has, as far as the women's division, we got Jordan Grace. We got a heat up. Julia's over there. Tiffany Stratton just won the United States Championship from Julia. Julia's still over there, which I don't know if you've talked about it on your end. Do you think that they may move Julia over to Raw to be paired with Asuka in the absence of Kairi? You think that's a possibility?
My concern goes beyond that. When I saw her lose that title on Friday, I was worried for her job.
Yeah, me too.
I'm still worried about her job. I don't know that these cuts are over yet, and it's not like, I mean, we can't sit here and say that if she's had this great run so far on the main roster, they got that belt off of her. I'd be worried. I'd be worried. I always got the impression they were higher on Kiana James than they were her.
Yeah,
especially with that pairing. So I hesitate to even guess what they're going to do with Julia. I just hope that she can stay employed and they can find something for her to really do something productive. Yeah, when I saw that on Friday, I was like, ugh, I don't know about that. That might not be a good sign.
In regards to Ricky Saints, there was some hesitation to call him up. We did get the announcement on Friday that he will be debuting this week on SmackDown, but CW wanted to retain his services for NXT because they didn't feel like the roster there was, I guess, in a position to have a lot of main event talent, and they didn't want to move him so quickly. But you can't.
Well, they have Evil now.
Sure. You got Evil.
Yeah, former IWGP champion.
So you can't blame that on Ricky Saints. Ricky, honestly, in my opinion, was already TV ready before he even made NXT. So I'm glad to see him. He's going to kill it. And if Punk is moving over there, that's just a natural thing for him and Punk to feud. As far as the NXT brand, there's a couple more SmackDown notes. There was another NXT being that I just mentioned it. The premium live events for NXT will now be airing on the CW network, not YouTube. So they struck a deal with CW, multi-year deal. All the PLEs, Jason, are coming to the CW network, exclusive broadcast rights to CW. What do you make of that news?
I think that is going to give them more exposure for those shows because it's the first time their PLEs are going to be on broadcast TV. I would say you have commercials now, but we have commercials in every WWE show. So why should this be any different? So yeah, exposure-wise, I think for them it's a good thing. Look, I enjoyed Stand and Deliver being on YouTube. I thought that was great. So selfishly, I was kind of hoping that's where it would stay. But that's a big deal, you know? I mean, they get what is NXT average on the CW every week? Is it
anywhere between I would say 600 to, on a good week, I think they're roughly about 680, 690, maybe.
Okay, because I know they were doing in the 700s for a while, but then Nielsen changed the whole methodology and they went down, but then I think they went back up. So.
Yeah, well, everybody's going to be struggling now. We got the NHL playoffs and the NBA playoffs, so everything's going to be affected.
I'm curious how these PLEs are going to perform. Like, do people really see them as a premium event where the numbers reflect it and the numbers shoot up to like 800,000-900,000, or do they do comparable numbers to what the weekly show does?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I was thinking about when I heard this news, I'm like, is this really a bigger deal than being on YouTube? I feel like there's more reach on YouTube than there would be on CW, no?
Well, I mean, I don't know if this is part of the existing deal because they signed a 5-year deal, I believe, with the CW. So I don't know if this is, I can't imagine this is part of the deal. I would imagine they struck a new deal. So we don't know how much they're being paid. It's very possible the WWE felt, well, this is worth our while to make this deal. And so they signed a new deal to bring these events over. Because on YouTube, I mean, you're going to make whatever in ad revenue, but what else are they making? It's really the ad revenue.
Yeah.
The CW is paying them more, then it makes more sense for them to have them on the CW.
That's true. So that's starting. I don't know. Did they give a start date for that? I got the news article pulled up here. NX Network will air 20 premium live events over the next several years, including Stand and Deliver. It does not say when the first show starts. I'm assuming whatever the next show is. I don't know what their schedule is for PLEs, but I'm assuming it will be the next one. So there you go. If you guys want PLEs for NXT, CW Network is the new home.
But there was bigger news on the programming end.
Yes, which is legitimately what I was going to get into next. SmackDown is moving from 3. Yes, see? SmackDown's moving from 3 hours to 2 hours. Now, the reason, this is the second time they've done this back and forth. They did the same thing last year. The first time they did the 3-hour block, and it ended around 4th of July last year. Then we got SmackDown for 2 hours. We have Braun Strowman following SmackDown. And then come this past January, legitimately 2026, they went back to 3 hours. And we all kind of assumed that, all right, it's their busiest time of the year between Rumble and WrestleMania. They want SmackDown to 3 hours. It pushes the storylines more. And, you know, WWE got an extra hour advertisements there for USA Network. And now, Jason, we're going back to 2 hours. And a lot of people are like, oh, this is going to make the show better. This is going to make SmackDown a better watch on Tuesday. Oh, yeah.
It is. Oh, yeah.
You think it's going to be a better watch? Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's going to be a better watch.
Explain.
I will explain to you in the easiest way that I know how. Because a 2-hour terrible television show will always be better than a 3-hour terrible television show.
We get to go live earlier. That's great.
So when it comes to the viewing experience for people like you and me, as much as we have grown to hate SmackDown because it is a terrible, terrible television show, and obviously we watch it and we want it to get better, but we watch it because we review it. It's part of what we do. I will always support 2 hours over 3 hours. I've always maintained, I've been very consistent in this. Even if SmackDown was the best weekly television show, it has no business being 3 hours. I personally don't believe that there is any wrestling show from any promotion anywhere that needs to be 3 hours on a weekly basis. I don't.
Well, why do we want to watch anything for 3 hours if it isn't a major event?
Well, no, I mean, if it's a pay-per-view or something like PLE or something, that's fine. But in terms of the weekly television, just the way the weekly television in the United States is done, because they've basically been following the same formula since the Attitude Era. And so you get matches. Sometimes they'll get some time. Sometimes they're very quick. You get a lot of these promos. You get a lot of backstage segments. You get a shit ton of commercials. I don't need to sit through 3 hours of that. 2 hours is fine. But what makes it worse is that they have not shown that they, like in the time that the show has been 3 hours so far this year, they have not demonstrated that really improved the show in any meaningful way.
No.
The idea was that, this is going to give people a lot more time to be featured. And so I want to address that as well, because I did get some comments, or I saw some comments online, because I was kind of celebrating this move. I'm like, thank God, we're going back to 2 hours.
For now.
And they're like, what a hypocrite. Because in one regard, you're angry about these talent releases, but yet you're celebrating the fact that we're going to have 1 hour less of television every single week. And I look at this and first of all, I am not of the opinion that every single person on the roster has to be featured on the show every single week. I believe that you can cycle people in and out where they can appear one week, and unless they're in like the key story on the show, if you skip a week, that's fine. It all comes down to how you rotate and utilize the talent that you have. This notion, and I credit this to a lot of younger fans or maybe just newer fans who only know of WWE and only know of wrestling since Raw went to 3 hours in 2012. And in their mind, wrestling has to be 3 hours every single week. If it's 2 hours, this is terrible. It has to be 3 hours. We went how many decades, how many years did we go where wrestling was 2 hours every week? And there were lots of great 2-hour wrestling shows. They seem to get by just fine at 2 hours. So this notion that it has to be 3 hours is nauseating to me. And it's just wrong, and we have to just kill this once and for all. No, the shows don't have to be 3 hours to be good, and you can feature people. All you got to do is just make use of them in the way that makes the most sense. If you have somebody you want to use on the show, use them. If you don't need them that week, skip a week, and they could be on the show. It keeps people fresher too, by the way, if you don't burn them all out. But this notion that, these people are going to get fired, they're going to get let go because, they're not going to be on the show. It's such nonsense to me and such bullshit that it makes me angry when I see these comments, because to me, one doesn't necessarily have to have anything to do with the other, right? It all boils down to how you use your talent.
Maybe these people should ask Ray Phoenix and the Garzas and Fraxium and Johnny Gargano and Royce Keys and all those other people that thought that 3 hours was going to net them some TV time. Where are they?
Yeah, whatever happened to that? That would also be my counter to these people. There's a lot of people who have been neglected on that SmackDown roster who maybe we all thought were going to be prominent figures on SmackDown this year. 3 hours. Where are they? What are they doing?
Half the roster's not even being used. We got three segments with Danhausen on Friday.
Show
three
every week.
segments with Danhausen.
It's the blood. I don't mind Danhausen. Danhausen's fine, but it's the Bloodline show every single week. We went from the end of Raw last Monday into the beginning of SmackDown this week with all the Samoan contingent. We've had the fucking MFTs come out at the beginning of SmackDown on Friday night. Solo Sikoa's out there, and they make a main event of Jacob Fatu against Solo Sikoa. So the story from Monday continued into Friday to bled into the opening and closing segments of the show. And then, of course, Raw last night, it was, again, all about the Bloodline stuff, Roman and Jacob, and what's Roman going to do. Maybe start there. Maybe we should work towards featuring non-Bloodline talents a little bit more where we can, instead of just being so laser focused on this. Maybe that has something to do with it too.
What is a 3 hour show? 16, 17 segments, and the MFTs had 3 or 4 different segments across a 3 hour show? Who wants to see that?
Maybe it's just, maybe I'm crazy. maybe stuff like that can be, maybe I'm just out of my mind. I don't know.
Yes, because Tonga Loa is such in demand on Friday Night SmackDown. We got to feature him 4 different times across 3 hours. The show is not going to get any better at 2 hours. It's only going to make our lives a little less miserable on Friday night. So they got a lot of work to do over there. And even with the talents in NXT coming in there, I still don't. Listen, I mentioned with the coach today, 2016, I don't know if you remember, Monday Night Raw, that draft that year, they loaded Monday Night Raw, and they left SmackDown with the fucking Corbins and the Alexa Blisses and the Becky Lynches and fucking Heath Slaters and Rhinos over there. And they killed television, man. They were producing some of the best shows ever, and then Vince got pissed because Ryan Ward and Road Dogg were writing better shows than he was on Monday night. So he killed the whole operation. If they can go back to that with some of this NXT talent at 2 hours, I'd love to see that. I just don't think they're capable of doing that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't demonstrated that they can. Look at the television that we've been getting.
It's so fucking lifeless. It's like Cody. Who is Cody feuding with at the top of the card after Randy Orton? Or is there just going to be Randy Orton all year? That's
Cody, I have it on good authority that Cody is going to come out on SmackDown on Friday and issue an open challenge. So maybe we'll get a Cody Rhodes open challenge on Friday. They seem to be so keen on doing that. I mean, the direction seems to be Cody and Punk, but we know if we get it this year, we're not getting it until SummerSlam. So in the meantime, I would imagine it's going to be back to Cody and Randy, unless Randy's hurt. That might be the clash. That might be the Clash in Italy main event, because I'm not expecting Cody to wrestle at Backlash.
No, they're not going to put Cody and Roman on the same show. No, they're not going to do that.
Well, Cody's eye, I'm not sure if he's even medically cleared.
What did I was going to say? What did Triple H say? Yeah, we're not in any position to have a backup when Cody Rhodes goes down for injury. I mean, what happens at that point? You know, he basically said that on the way to WrestleMania, and it's almost like he's admitting that they failed to create new stars after the top guys and the Codys and the Punks and the Romans. If they go down with injury, they're fucked. Maybe you should start building some new stars and fucking stop fucking around on Friday night. Seriously.
Well, it looks like maybe they're trying to do that now with Jake. And Jacob's been ready, I think, to make that leap for a while now. So I'm happy for him, and I'm happy to see him involved, like in the top picture. And you got to get some more guys in there. You know, Braun Breaker was hurt. He just came back, and I'm sure they're going to want to try to elevate him out of this. We know Oba's already kind of in that position. Trick Williams, he's been doing very well for himself. Like, the pieces are there. It's not like we don't have some new stars and new names that are rising up the ranks. But if they would have taken care to try to do this a little sooner, maybe we would already be there with some of these people. It feels like they're all rising at the same time, and that's great. But like you mentioned, if Cody gets a serious injury, if Punk gets a serious injury, what do? Like they're in a lot of trouble.
They are. SmackDown itself is in a lot of trouble. So hopefully this 2-hour show from this point on, we don't know when, does make the show a little bit better. I'm hoping, and Jason's hoping as well. Nick Khan, he said that he backs Triple H's performance as head of creative. He defends the product against online criticism in a message to all staff at WWE. So Nick Khan told staff on Monday in a town hall meeting that WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Levesque will continue in his role as head of creative, according to sources who viewed the town hall and informed Post Wrestling with Brandon Thurston. I don't know why he needed to tell everybody that he will remain, as if there was any thought about removing him. Maybe there was. I don't know. But it's unclear whether... Gad.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, he made it sound like there was a contract extension or renewal that was signed recently. So yes. I guess he kind of broke some news there.
Yeah, supposedly Triple H he signed a multi-year agreement to stay on as chief content officer. We'll get to that in a second, but it's unclear whether Khan's comments reflect a formal extension in this report of Levesque's employment contract or a less formal affirmation of his performance as head of creative. WWE communication staff did not immediately return a request to clarify this. Khan also addressed the online criticism of WWE during this town hall after being prompted by TKO president Mark Shapiro. Khan pushed back on criticism of WWE's product, characterizing it as coming from a vocal minority. He specifically cited the perception that WrestleMania Night 1 this year was less received than Night 2. It's because it sucked, Nick Khan, and Night 2 was a lot better. I mean, it's not really that confusing to figure out.
Yeah,
Jason.
Oh, dude, I have to say this. I have to say this.
I'm tone deaf for these people, bro.
Well, I'm kind of reaching into a different piece of news than maybe you were going to get to, but we'll lump it in here because the Pat McAfee stuff.
Yeah.
And we could be done with Pat McAfee after this tonight because I'm sick of talking about this guy. But Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll, of course, as you know, they were both involved briefly, but they were involved in the WrestleMania main event. And they were involved in the build-up to the WrestleMania main event. And it sucked. And they had no business being involved. And Jelly Roll said as much in his vlog. And he sent a message out to Pat McAfee and said, Pat, I love you, brother, but you and I both know we had no business being here. So even the people involved in that angle who were genuine wrestling fans, like Jelly Roll's a real fan, Pat McAfee's a real fan, even they knew they had no business being a part of that story because that story belonged to Cody and Randy. And they knew this shit sucked. So Pat McAfee evidently is the one who made the call. At WrestleMania, I'm done. We're ending this. I'm not doing this anymore. Whatever his excuse was, but he backed out. Because there was a plan, apparently, to do that tag team match at Backlash where it would have been Cody and Jelly, which just sounds so ridiculous saying that. Cody and Jelly against Randy Orton and Pat McAfee. Randy Orton would have won the WWE Championship, most likely at WrestleMania. Pat McAfee realized that this is not working. He saw, how could he not, dude? Like, he saw all of the negativity. He was probably getting hammered with it on social media. The guy has his own brand. He has his own show. And before all of this, he was mostly, I would say, beloved, right? By the WWE.
He's the face of ESPN.
Triple H on Unreal said to a lot of people, he's the face of WWE.
He's a fucking idiot. Jesus Christ.
He called Pat McAfee the face of WWE. And they ruined that, at least for now, because they got people to hate the guy. So I'm sure he was being crushed with criticism and negativity online. Jelly Roll was probably seeing it. And look, that shit gets to you. I know a guy makes $1 gazillion and doesn't have to pay attention to what people say about him, but you know, these guys all have egos, and it's not like he's blind to what people were saying, so he backed out. One of the reasons that this happened, all that negativity came from what Nick Khan would call a vocal minority on social media. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that WWE should just basically bow down to social media every time somebody gets a bee up their ass and they don't like this, they don't like that. You can't run your company that way. I get it. But this is not the first time that I've heard that. I think Vince McMahon used to say that, like, it's the vocal minority, right? And I said this the other day. Let this be an example that no matter what anybody says about you being a vocal minority, you jump on your ex account and you say, I didn't like this. Like, jump on Facebook, I think this shit sucks. Whatever the case may be, right? Speak your mind.
Yes.
Because if enough people feel the way that you do, that's how you build this groundswell. And guess what? When shit starts trending on social media, that's stuff they pay attention to. Because they love to trend on social media. They love all the social media engagement and metrics. They pay attention to that kind of stuff. And you never know how many people are out there that feel exactly the same way that you do. So don't ever let like comments like that or people say, well, they don't give a shit what you have to say. You're in the minority here. There are situations where it can have an effect. And I think it absolutely had an effect in this case.
100%.
I really do.
100%.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I said that same thing. I mean, 9 times out of 10, you may strike out, but that one time, never, if you're a content creator and you just don't agree with something or don't like something, and the company that you're watching, in this case, we watch WWE, they shun us and they cast us off as like Jason said, the vocal minority. Nick Khan says we're the vocal minority. Don't stop using your platform or your voice, because at some point someone's listening and they will get it. I love that. Now, he said in this same thing, he went on to read multiple messages from around 2015, which may have been tweets that were critical of WWE's product at the time. He appeared to be using the examples to argue that such criticism has historically proven to be unreliable. Basically, in so many words, everybody's opinion means shit, and then WWE, everything they do is great. Nick Khan, he spends a lot of time, Jason, saying that the social media audience has no effect on how they run their television show and no effect on creative yet. At every given moment, he's talking about online criticism and social media as if, I don't know, maybe Nick Khan is dwelling in this chat room right now. We don't fucking know.
Well, I mean, like fucking Paul Levesque doesn't have 4 burner accounts. And he's probably sitting a gorilla on the fucking phone scanning through Twitter. I mean, give me a break. They all pay attention to this stuff. They look for validation. They may not get any ideas from there, but they look towards it for validation, and the criticism gets to them. And when shit sucks, you got to call them out on it, And some of the stuff that we've gotten recently has not been good.
No.
If they are led to believe that it's good and people like it, they're just going to keep doing it. That's why it's important to call this stuff out, because we know they have the ability, they have it within them to do better. Instead of sometimes it just feels like they're just coasting, and you got to speak up. It does have an impact. Absolutely. But like Nick Khan, you mentioned these tweets, and this is the other thing that just burned my ass when I'm reading this. I'm like, I saw some of the tweets did you see some of the tweets? Maybe you have them in front of you. Some of the tweets that apparently he was citing in this town hall that go back to like 2015.
Yeah, 2015,
Old tweets that people like, this Roman Reigns guy sucks, man. He's never going to go anywhere. John Cena, man, he buries basically what he did was he rounded up certain tweets, and we know they existed. Yes, people were saying that kind of stuff back then, but it's like the most basic, like, oh, these people thought Roman Reigns would never be a star. This person thought John Cena buried people. This person thought, and I'm like, really, you're using this as evidence that we really shouldn't be paying too much attention to the so-called vocal minority, because 10 years ago, people were criticizing the push that Roman Reigns was getting. All of that is, first of all, totally disingenuous. And it completely ignores the very valid criticisms that people have of stuff like the over-commercialization of WrestleMania this year, right? Which is a very valid... I saw a lot of people even in like the general media talking about it. There were people on ESPN and some of these sports talk shows that were talking about, hey, I heard people said that there were too many commercials at WrestleMania this year.
We got Barstool Sports coming out fucking shitting on WrestleMania. And what's that guy, politician? Andrew, what's his name? Said TKO commercialized WrestleMania to a point where TKO ruined WWE. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Wasn't he the guy that was going to like lead the charge to like... What was it that he said he was going to do? He was going to like hold WWE to account to like the independent contractor status or something.
Yes.
That never went anywhere.
No, of course not. They're all liars.
Get the fuck out of here, okay? You're not going to do anything. So yeah, but like completely disingenuous, and he's throwing these tweets out like, "Oh, look at all these people and what they were saying back then. I think Roman Reigns turned out to be, he did pretty well for himself." Yeah, but okay, but there are valid critiques of the company and the product right now. He didn't address any of that. I didn't see him reading tweets from people about how, man, I can't believe we're on commercial number 9 in the last 30 minutes. Boy, it's been 45 minutes since the last match. Where were those tweets? I saw plenty of them on my timeline a few weeks ago during WrestleMania. I didn't see, apparently he didn't read any of that in the town hall. But he's going back, and it wasn't even X back then. It was still Twitter.
Yeah.
And he's reading tweets from 2016.
Funny thing is, if you ask Roman Reigns what he thought of himself in 2016, he'd probably tell you himself, I fucking sucked. You fucking kidding me? Suffering succotash.
Suffering succotash. But then he winked. Remember.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Got to wink into the camera. Yes. You got to do it the right way.
Roman loved himself so much that he came back in the middle of a pandemic while he was dealing with health issues to become the tribal chief, right? Give me a fucking break.
Basically, he told them, like, when I come back, you either let me come back as a heel and do my thing, or I ain't coming back.
Jesus Christ, man.
That's when he took off. So, I mean, like, but again, I didn't in this audio that Post Wrestling got their hands on, and they're transcribing what Nick Khan was saying. Evidently, he wasn't reading any of the recent tweets with the recent criticisms, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Nick Khan's a fucking con man, to say the least. I don't trust him at all or believe a word out of his fucking mouth.
But he's a very shrewd, very savvy businessman. He seems like a very bright guy, and he knows exactly what he's doing. And he's being very disingenuous in this situation because he knows that there are very valid criticisms, but what's he going to do? This is a TKO thing. TKO will not miss an opportunity to make a buck. And so over commercializing the product, yeah, that's what they want. Like the product is for sale. They had somebody sitting at ringside at the commentary booth, not doing commentary, but he got a lower third on the screen and he got a ringside seat for the Women's Championship match at WrestleMania. Fuck if I know who this guy is, but I'm sure he paid a small fortune to sit there.
Well, yeah, he paid for Nick Khan's fucking master suite on top of the fucking Wynn Casino. That's what he paid for.
Everything is up for sale, and Nick Khan works for TKO. Like, there are people above Nick Khan. Nick Khan is not the one running the entire show here. He's carrying out the mission. So, of course, he's not going to call that out.
Oh, my God.
But don't criticize the fans for having valid criticisms here, because they do.
No, they know of our valid criticisms. They just there was another thing in this entire Nick Khan Triple H thing. A lot of people were like, well, why is Triple H being rewarded with a contract extension? The product has gotten worse creatively. You know, I joked around, and you can sit there and fucking call me a conspiracy theorist or not. Who else are they going to get to run the show? If Triple H is not there, who else are they going to get to run the creative end of things? Dwayne and his team, Seven Bucks Productions, aren't ready to fucking take control over the whole operation yet. So
they got Paul Heyman is in the room.
Paul Heyman's in the room. I would trust Paul Heyman to turn things around. That's the only guy I would trust to turn things around. But they gave Triple H a 3-year contract extension reportedly. We will see what happens. But there was another story here coming out of this same town hall meeting, and people wanted us to talk about this because I think some people are really taking this out of context again, just like we had that story last week where Mark Shapiro was talking to students at the University of Alabama, I believe, and he mentioned something about, we have full creative control. People ran with that like, bro, they don't have full creative control over the weekly television shows. They pick and choose when they want to come on in and do what they want to do. So people ran with that just like they're running with this. Apparently, Jason, WWE is embracing AI as TKO calls it a major priority. Now, during this same town hall meeting, and this is coming from Post Wrestling and Brandon Thurston as well, there was a talk on WWE using AI. Now, TKO Chief Financial Officer Andrew Schleimer spoke at the town hall about company usage of AI. He noted that they've only run tests and pilots and are still in the early stages. He cited the use of AI for data and analytics on WWE and UFC consumers, as well as minor uses to enhance broadcasts. TKO President and COO Mark Shapiro called the company's embrace of AI a major priority, emphasizing how AI could help employees become more efficient and productive. He noted how UFC uses AI for fighter rankings and explained WWE's usage of AI and says, Nick Khan and Triple H are using AI for storylines within WWE. What's resonating? What superstars are resonating? In what pockets of the country are they resonating? That helps us with, obviously, our content, our editorial, our creative, our mapping, our touring, and, of course, maximizing revenue and getting our product out to the fans most in need of it. People ran with this like they got AI running both. Now, I mean, it could be that. I mean, look at how fucking boring the shows are. It does look and feel like AI is really running both Monday and Friday night, but I don't think we're there yet. I hope we never get there at all, but I think people made a lot of this story to be like AI is running all the operation and WWE's using nothing but AI. What do you make of the story?
Yeah, I mean, the idea that like they're using AI to actually generate storylines and storyline ideas, I don't think that's what they were saying there. Doesn't mean that we won't get to that point at some point, but yeah, I don't think that's exactly what they were saying. I think they were saying that, again, they were using it as a tool to try to figure out like what works and what doesn't, data collection, that sort of thing. I did see something in the chat earlier, and the chat can chime in on this. I know they made a comment about how they do utilize AI in minor ways to enhance the on-air product, and I think there may have been an example of that tonight on NXT, because I saw a bunch of people say that apparently there was an AI Sol Ruca during a video package that they were using AI in some video package tonight involving Sol Ruca and Zarya. Is that true?
I wouldn't be surprised. B, that sounds awful. Why would they be doing that?
Well, they used that. Remember those early El Grande Americano vignettes?
Yes.
They were absolutely using AI in those vignettes. So that's what this sounds like. But they were like, AI Sol Ruca, AI Sol Ruca. So I'm like curious, what exactly was AI about her in this video package?
I don't know. Again, WWE is using AI, again, chat, not for writing the shows completely. I'm assuming they'll use AI to maybe get ideas about what to do for a storyline or how to push a character here and a character there, but we're not there yet, and hopefully we never get there. So I wanted to talk about that because I know Dave Meltzer was going at it with some people on social media saying that he reported this back last year, and a lot of people were calling him out on it, saying that, yes, they use AI, but not the way you reported it. They're using it for analytics. So there was a whole mess on social media regarding this. But that's the latest there on Triple H and Nick Khan's comments and this AI stuff. We'll shift gears to Monday Night Raw here. We got the start of Monday Night Raw with Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. Now, I actually thought this was the best segment of the entire show. I thought this was much needed.
Really?
Yeah, I really liked that back and forth. I thought it was great, yeah.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, I totally disagree.
No? All right.
You thought that was the best thing on the entire show?
Yeah.
You thought that was better than the match between Becky and Io?
Well, I mean, it's an open challenge. I didn't really give a shit.
So what? It was a really good match.
It was a really good match. I didn't say it was a bad match. I just like the dialogue between Rollins and Braun Breaker. I'm excited for their match. I think it's got a lot of potential.
Okay. I mean, I don't think it was the best thing on the show, but
all right. Well, what'd you make of I mean, we needed an interaction with these guys going into Backlash, being that's 2 weeks away. What'd you make of the whole interaction? And I know a lot of people were kind of up in the air. Who do you think wins this? Because I know Braun, in my opinion, needs it more than Rollins does, and I know Rollins just lost to Gunther. So, what do you think of this, and how do you feel about the match going into Backlash?
I think Braun absolutely should get the win here. I don't think this is going to be a one and done.
No.
So this is match number one in what will be, I'm sure, a series of matches. And I think it's important to reestablish Braun. He's missed the last few months with the injury, and he needs this win more than Rollins does. I know Rollins lost at WrestleMania, so this would be a second straight loss for him. But if it's up to me, I'm having Braun Breaker go over here. That's assuming we get a clean winner in the match. As far as the back and forth on the mic, I thought it was good. I thought that there was a line towards the end of the promo. I'm trying to remember what it was that Rollins used on him. Oh God, what was? I know he called him Baby Steiner there. Oh, maybe it was the Baby Steiner one.
And he said, let me see, do I have it here?
Yeah, I think he said like you're not even the second.
Yeah, that was pretty good, Baby Steiner. He went on to say that he wasn't even number 2 in his own family.
Which I disagree with. I believe he is.
Who's
I
number
had some
1?
people that were like, really? You're going to put him above Rick? I'm like, yeah. Like on his own?
Yes, absolutely.
Rick Steiner was nothing special to me on his own. Fuck, I don't give a shit. No. Steiner brothers were a great team. Steiner brothers together, great tag team.
Yes.
Rick Steiner on his own could not give a shit.
No, Scott was obviously the
I don't think that's much of a hot take.
No, that's not.
No, of course, Scott's number 1. But
Yes.
I think Braun's number 2.
Yeah, I like this. Do you think that they are prepping Rollins and Reigns for a world championship match at SummerSlam? Because I know Rollins made mention that he wants to get the title back, that he never lost. And, you know, there was a bunch of comical stuff in there that Rollins was blaming Breakker for why he lost the world championship. I'm like, bro, you lost the world championship because you decided to do a coast-to-coast on Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel, man. It's your own fault. You lost the championship for yourself. Do you think that they are leaning towards doing that? Because I know a lot of people are like, Oba's got to get the match with Roman at SummerSlam. I think that's way too early for that. I think they actually go back and do the original plans between Rollins and Reigns at SummerSlam this year. What do you think about that?
Yes, I think it's possible that could be the match that we're going to get at SummerSlam. Okay. Because I don't know where else you would go with Seth if he's not, right? Because they're going to play this Seth and Braun Breaker thing out now. We already got Seth and Gunther. So logically, yeah, Roman and Seth would make sense. I disagree, though, with you about SummerSlam being too soon for Oba.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. All right, well. So, let's talk about it now.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait until the open challenge, though. We saw Obafemi on Raw last night, and he made short work of Grayson Waller, who should be very worried right now, by the way. So then he gets on the mic and he says he is initiating the Obafemi Open Challenge, which I believe he did once before, many years ago in NXT when he was the North American champion. So not his first time doing the Open Challenge gimmick. And if I had the same reaction you probably did, like, again with this, just because literally on the same show, we already had Becky Lynch come out and do the Open Challenge gimmick.
Yeah.
The whole reason that Brock Lesnar was beaten by Obafemi at WrestleMania is because Obafemi answered the Brock Lesnar Open Challenge. It's like Open Challenge mania in this company. They do them way too often, and this is a great example of why.
It's lazy, chat. It's lazy.
I don't think the idea of an Obafemi Open Challenge is a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. What makes it bad is that they do them so often that it loses almost any meaning. And this is why, because when you have a reason to do one, it would mean more if everybody else wasn't already doing one. And the reason I say this is because I look at Obafemi and I'm like, well, if you don't do an open challenge with him, what would you be doing with Obafemi on Raw right now? He said it himself in his promo. The champions are all accounted for. They have their challengers. You're not doing Brock Lesnar. You're not doing Obafemi and Roman Reigns at Backlash, okay? So Roman is occupied. The World Heavyweight title is occupied. What are you going to do with Obafemi right now? Like, what is the key story for him? He's going to work with the Judgment Day? Is he going to work with the Vision? Because they're occupied too right now. The Open Challenge, at least, it gives them a reason to get him on the show every single week, and it makes him now, in many ways, it makes him even more than Gunther, kind of like the final boss, of Monday Night Raw. And yeah, they're going to throw some lower-level guys at him. The key is to not make that a weekly occurrence. Like him wrestling... I don't fucking
Kofi
Otis.
Kingston.
Hey now, Kofi's a former WWE champion. Now you watch your mouth. But yeah, him wrestling like Grayson Wallers and people like that. You could do that once or twice. They're going to have to find some real competition for him. But I looked at that I scanned the Raw roster, and I'm like, okay, who would be a good person for him to work with? Where is there a compelling story in here, or someone who could really test him and challenge him? And I was drawing a blank. There's not a lot of great options right now.
But
what I would do, we're still in April here. Let them do the Open Challenge gimmick for a little while. They made the announcement this past week that Night of Champions is coming back to Saudi at the end of June. Now, last year at Night of Champions in Saudi, they had the King of the Ring final. We had Cody and Randy on that show. They have said nothing about King and Queen of the Ring. Let's assume they're going to bring it back this year. To me, Obafemi is the perfect person to, I think, anoint as King of the Ring this year, which would then earn him a championship match at SummerSlam. He goes to SummerSlam. You could do Roman, assuming Roman's champion. You could do Roman and Oba at SummerSlam, as soon as SummerSlam, for the championship. And you're following the Brock blueprint from 2002, the Brock push, as I call it, because, again, Brock Lesnar, when he came in 2002, he was a force. He was a special guy. He wasn't like anybody else on that roster, and you had to be really careful with how you used him. And they had him in there with credible guys. They had him beat Ric Flair, and they had him beat Hulk Hogan, and they had him beat RVD, and they had him beat The Rock. And by SummerSlam, he was the champion. He was the fucking guy, because he was the next big thing. Well, he just beat the guy that used to be the next big thing. You can't squander that. If you wait a year until Saudi or WrestleMania next year, I mean, a year is a long time. Do you have enough for this guy to do on Raw that's going to keep him at that level? Do you have enough to keep him occupied until then? I don't trust that these people do. I really don't. So I'm looking at this and going, no, SummerSlam's not too early. SummerSlam sounds about right to me. If you're serious about pushing this guy, give him the Brock push. Let him win King of the Ring, punch his ticket, he goes to SummerSlam. I'm okay with that idea.
I don't know. I mean, you make a good point. I like the Brock blueprint. I feel like if we have him on TV every single week in an open challenge and he's squashing low-level guys, it's going to get very tiresome very quickly. This is what happens when you run into this situation with Oba, where he's a lot larger than everybody else. He's a lot more menacing than everybody else. He's just on a different level than everybody else. He doesn't look like anybody else on the main roster, so they need to book him a lot differently than they're booking a fucking Javon Evans or Penta or someone like that. You can't put him in the ring with guys like that. It's not going to come off as well. Even though he lost the NXT Championship to Ricky Saints, I don't know why everybody's making this to be a complicated issue. Like, why do we need to follow the Brock Lesnar blueprint? Why can't we just have him kind of slide into that Intercontinental Championship picture and follow the Gunther blueprint? Gunther held the Intercontinental Championship way longer than he really needed to because he was a world champion half that reign. Why don't we get him in the ring with a Penta and a Javon Evans or an Ethan Page or guys like that? And then maybe by the time we get to the Royal Rumble, he'll get his fill in of those guys, work with those guys, win the Rumble, and get the match with Roman at Mania. Because the way that I look at it is, I think Roman holding the title and losing it at SummerSlam is way too soon. And I think that's going to come down to a Netflix thing and a ratings thing. I think Raw after Mania did like 3.4 million people globally. So they obviously wanted Roman as the champion. Secondly,
they did more people last year, but go ahead.
Yeah, sure. And secondly, if you do Oba and Roman at SummerSlam, what are we doing with Rollins? Like you mentioned, I think they do Rollins and Roman at SummerSlam. I would even rather see Breakker and Roman first before we get to Roman and Oba. I think Roman's going to slay a bunch of these guys and then put Oba over at WrestleMania next year if we don't get Dwayne. But I think that's the way to go about it. I'm just like you. I'm tired of the open challenges. And who is on that roster? I did the same thing. I combed over the roster. Who is on that roster? People are throwing names like Rusev at me. He already beat Rusev in 4 minutes. Sheamus. We want to bring Sheamus back to job to Obafemi. Sure, that would be a banger match. But what are we going to do? And then the only other name that I can think of is they'll probably dig up Omos from AAA and bring him to Monday Night Raw because he's a lot towering than Obafemi to be a good look for him to beat Omos. What else are we going to do? There's nothing there, Jason. And I feel like if they had one solid brand instead of this brand split, it may be a little bit easier to book this. But
so this is the challenge then. So do you not feature him on television for weeks at a time? I mean,
no, they're not going to do that.
You have to keep him featured. You have to follow up. This was always going to be the challenge. You have to follow up on that big win that he got at WrestleMania. And like you mentioned before, why not have him wrestle for the Intercontinental title? Gunther did it. But you're forgetting a very important thing here. That was a very different Gunther. When Gunther was the Intercontinental Champion, that Gunther is different than the one who retired John Cena and who retired AJ Styles. So when he did that, that put him in this like rarefied air where now he's an attraction, right? He's not just a guy, he's an attraction on the show. And the idea that Gunther now is going to slide back, let's say, and wrestle for the IC title, to me is comical because it's beneath him. Oba beating Brock at Mania, I don't want to say put him exactly in the same category, but it put him in this special category where, you know what, he doesn't have to be fighting for the He could. Goldberg won the U.S. title on his ascent a few months later to the World Championship. So sure, you could do something like that with Oba, although Oba beating Penta for it to me doesn't make any sense. But it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough if the longer you wait, because there just aren't enough interesting people right now for him to be working with on that Raw or unbelievable people for him to be working with on that Raw roster. I'm just trying to picture this a year from now. What is Oba doing in this year that is like, okay, we got the perfect guys for him to be working with?
All right. So
maybe there's a couple of names, but like I worry that, okay, let's hold off on this. And then he kind of dies out a little bit before you get there.
All right, but don't you think if they go the route that you are pitching them to go, and he gets the King of the Ring, if there is a King of the Ring this year, beats Roman at SummerSlam, aren't we going to be back in the same position that we're in now with him as the champion? Who is he going to wrestle and fight over the championship with?
Top guys.
Gunther? Roman?
Top guys. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You mentioned you wouldn't take the title of Roman at SummerSlam. Roman only said he's full-time until the summer. I assume that
is that
Roman
what he said? I didn't hear him say that.
He said full-time through the summer. So my assumption is that he kind of gave it away that he's dropping the championship at SummerSlam. He's not full-time until the end of the year. He's full-time until the end of the summer. Now he said I don't know if he said the end of the summer. He said the summer. SummerSlam's actually the very beginning of August. So either at SummerSlam or shortly thereafter, we're not going to see him on TV the way we're seeing him every week now. So let's assume he is going to drop the belt at SummerSlam.
They're in quite a pickle.
It was always going to be tough to book somebody like that. They did such a good job with him in the build up to that match with Brock. And then once he beat Brock, it was like, okay, well, what are they going to do with him now? And I hope they have, some good stuff lined up for him. Maybe he could be working Braun Breaker. Maybe he could be working those people, but I'm not totally negative on the open challenge idea, because I think if they would have saved it for like him, I would feel better about it. But you can't be doing a Becky Lynch open challenge every week and doing an Oba Femi open challenge.
No.
So I don't know if the Becky one was a 1 week thing, because to me that's just ridiculous. You're gonna do multiple ones on the same show? That I don't agree with.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. Like, Io should have beaten Asuka at Backlash and then go after Becky for the IC title. Why did we need to immediately just jump to an Io-Becky open challenge match? It's just so stupid.
So that Asuka could interfere and put her in the Asuka lock.
Well, that's what they get for firing Kairi. I don't know what to fucking tell you. So yeah, I mean, well, I'm gonna give it a chance. Sheamus just came out and said that he's got cabin fever. He's fucking foaming to get back. So. He may be one of the people that answers this open challenge. I have no idea. That would be great. I would love to see him back, just regardless of an open challenge or not. But we're gonna see what they do with Oba. Right now, initially, my hesitation is with the fact that there's just way too many open challenges. If we do it for a couple of weeks, I think it may last a couple of weeks. At that point, it starts to get a little murky. Becky beat Io in an IC title open challenge thanks to Asuka. That was a very good match. I'd love to see more of that. We got Penta beating Rusev in what I thought was an IC title match for the men's. Your stream here, I think, came up. Let me just keep an eye out for that.
I think it was non-title.
Yeah, I thought it was title, and then all of a sudden it was a non-title.
Yeah, they never advertised it as a title match.
Okay. Well, Penta beat Rusev there. IC title picture is really strong right now with Javon Evans and Ethan Page. I'd say let's get Joe Hendry in the mix as well. Not Ray Phoenix. I wish. Dragon Lee is also in the mix there. So really hot IC title picture right now. Joe Hendry's concert was entertaining. Street Profits came out to back him up against the Vision. So it looks like we may be heading towards a Joe Hendry Vision feud at some point. And the Street Profits are eyeing the tag team championships. Rey Mysterio and El Grande Americano. That's Kaiser Americano. As we build towards this match with Gable and Kaiser, mask versus mask, which should hopefully move Gable back into the IC title picture as well.
It was sad watching them last night try to recreate that great pull apart from AAA, and like it was like a poor man's version of what they did in AAA. It was sad. Because I mean, man, the heat they got on that AAA show, and they were killing each other, man. They were going at each other.
I said that on social media. That should have been what Cody and Randy was.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Cody and Randy are in a position where they want to lay it in quite that stiff. So yeah, they tried to recreate it last night, and the fans were like kind of sort of into it, but not really. And then they just kind of moved on from it, and it's like, this doesn't have the same effect. It's like, okay, on to the next. Meanwhile, the brawl between these two was like, I mean, they were going all over the place, going all over the building, and security couldn't keep them apart. It was great. The heat they have down there is just incredible. Yeah, but I watched them on Raw, and I'm like, I don't give a shit about this on Raw. I just don't feel the same way about it that I did watching that segment.
It's amazing the reactions that Kaiser gets in the States. Nobody could give a shit about him, and then he goes down to Mexico. He's like the fucking biggest babyface in the entire brand.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez, they teased some dissension between both of them. Roxanne may not trust Liv Morgan. Finn Balor is trying to convince Roxanne Perez not to trust Liv Morgan, and Roxanne Perez may be kind of stuck in the middle here. So that whole Roxanne winning Money in the Bank deal is kind of still on right now. So I know we predicted that a couple weeks ago.
Who do you think the new, because they're promoting the fact that AAA is going to have a new general manager. So who do you think the new GM of AAA is going to be?
You know, I know he's with MLW. I'm not the first person I thought was Dario Cueto. Get him in there.
That'd be amazing. I don't know if I want WWE booking him though.
Nah.
Can you imagine the Undertaker booking Dario Cueto?
Yeah, he's got to be in his office, nice and dark, and he's got to be fucking
cinematic.
Cinematic.
It's just not going to be the same.
Nah. I don't know who it could be. Did you have a name on your list potentially for him or no? GM?
You know, I mean, they use JBL on commentary. Not him.
No, that would be awful.
Not him.
No.
I don't know if they want somebody from like WWE or if they want to stick with someone from the AAA side. If they did, who that would even be. I don't know. I kind of feel like they're going to come up with somebody out of left field though.
Could be a female. We don't know. It could be a woman general manager.
It could be. I mean, who is it in MLW they were using? Oh, Selena De La Renta. They've kind of used her in the past in that kind of role. Yeah, maybe it's, hey, okay, you bring this up. This is a perfect time for me to bring this up. I mentioned this at the beginning of Uncrowned today, so you may have heard me talk about Nikki Bella. I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. Nikki Bella apparently saw some discourse on social media. I don't know where the fuck this came from, but there were people like, oh, Nikki should become the general manager of Raw. And I was like, what? Like, where did this come from? And so now she's all gung-ho about this idea. She's like, when I'm done wrestling and I'm done going after Liv Morgan for the women's world title, I have all these goals. I would love to be the general manager of Monday Night Raw. Maybe they can make Nikki Bella the general manager of AAA instead.
I mean, I don't watch on a weekly basis, so by all means, go ahead. I don't care. You think that'll go?
They made Tiffany the GM of ECW.
I don't want to remember.
Do you remember this?
Yes, I do. I watched all those shows. Yes.
Did you?
Sadly, yes.
Wow. Okay.
Chad is saying Vicky Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero.
No, I don't want Vicky Guerrero. No, that's terrible.
I saw one say Armando Estrada.
What's he even up to these days?
I don't know. He's. I usually see him. I know Baydala does some spaces. I see him in those spaces on X.
Really? Okay, so he's still active in the
in
the community. Interesting.
Pimpinella? No.
Pimpinella Escarlata. That's interesting. That's another Lucha Underground name, one of the Exoticos.
Vince Russo and Vito? You guys are fucking crazy, man. No.
Oh, my God.
Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan. There may be something there. Roxanne Perez got a big hometown pop. She got a win with Raquel over Bayley and Lyra. Good to see her back. And then the main event segment, which WWE's been very reliant on main event segments and not main event matches lately, because Roman Reigns is the main event. He came out and he addressed Jacob Fatu, and he said that he now has made this championship the title, and they made this title, they created this championship in spite of him. They tried to take away his shine, but it didn't work. And he went on to say that the title didn't make the man, it was the man that made the title, which I wholeheartedly agree with. So Jacob Fatu, he's out there, and going back to last week, he wants the fancy cars, the Rolexes, a better schooling for his kids. He wants the money. He wants the belt. He needs the belt. He doesn't just want the belt. He needs the belt. So Fatu says he didn't need a week or a day or an hour to think about it. Fatu knew exactly what he wanted when he came out last week, and he didn't hesitate. Fatu said Reigns must be stuck in his WWE main event bubble. Reigns didn't really grind like him, he says. 12 years of hard work, suffering, not knowing when the next meal was going to be. While Reigns was running the bloodline, Fatu was broke, and he was foaming at the mouth for an opportunity, grinding on the front line. And then he cites Solo Sikoa, Jason, saying that Solo was the only one that gave him a call and gave him a chance. It wasn't Jimmy, it wasn't Jay, and it wasn't Roman. So Roman said, what are you talking about? You're either confused or dumber than I thought you were. Solo couldn't get a cup of coffee delivered to the building if he wanted to. I'm the one who runs this place. I was the one who put the phone call, and it went through me to get you here. So it was at that point where Roman used the nepotism line on Jacob Fatu, and then the next thing, go ahead.
So are they basically just running every talent decision at this point by Roman Reigns? Because he brought this up in the promos with Punk. He goes, why do you think they brought you back? Because I said it was okay to bring you back. So he said he gave his approval to bring Punk back, and he gave his approval to bring Jacob into the company. Is he on the board of directors?
I was going to say, I think he may be on the board of directors more than Dwayne is.
I think so. I think when Dwayne is not available, he lets Roman sit in his chair on the board of directors.
I would not be shocked. So Roman used the nepotism line on him. He said Fatu was sounding like a confused fool. He didn't deserve it. He hasn't earned it. And Fatu is basically a Nepo baby. And he wouldn't allow that. And next thing you know, we got a tongue and death grip.
That was the best line of the entire promo. We can't have nepotism now here. I can't allow this.
Sure, coming from Roman. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Tongue and death grip. And he went down, choked him out. Roman Reigns was spitting all over the place. Fatu was bleeding from the lips. So they really sold this very well. And he holds the championship. He throws the title on Roman, and Roman gets on the microphone and says, Backlash, I'll see you at Backlash. And then Jacob Fatu says, I'm not waiting for Backlash. I'll see you next week on Monday Night Raw. So the one thing I really want to point out here, Jason, and I'm curious to see if you mentioned this as well, there was no Jimmy and no Jey Uso out there with Roman Reigns, and he was getting attacked. And the fans are now split because Jacob Fatu, in all sense of the word, was a babyface going into a feud with Drew McIntyre, came out of WrestleMania as a babyface. Roman is obviously a babyface. What exactly is going on here? Are we setting Jacob Fatu up to be a heel, monster heel? And if so, are we setting the Usos up to turn on Roman here at Backlash? What the hell's going on?
I mean, it would be an interesting little twist to all this. It was weird that they didn't come out. I did kind of point that out, like, where were they? I was more like blown away by the negative reaction to Jacob. It was like universal, like, jeering at the end of that segment. They were booing him out of the building. I'm like, what? Why? Like, Sami Zayn was right. Sami Zayn comes out on SmackDown and people boo him. He's like, what? What are you booing me for? So they're booing Jacob because they just love Roman's aura, I guess. And they love it when he says, acknowledge me. I'm like, Roman is still this heel character, and yet the fans love him so much so that they're now booing Jacob. I just thought that was very fickle of the fans. I could see the Usos, I guess, betraying Roman and siding with Jacob. I kind of hope they do, and I'll tell you why. Last night, it really hit me watching them. Like, they're just back to being lackeys now.
Yeah.
They were all in last night, like, oh, Tribal Chief, yeah. And I'm like, so we're back to, like, 2023 Bloodline here. So whatever identity they created for themselves and independence they were able to carve out for themselves is just gone. They have fallen in line with this man. And maybe it comes across that way because they're going to kind of swerve us and go in a different direction, where they're going to end up stabbing him in the back. And then they link up with Jacob, and I guess we get kind of a different version of the Bloodline. I could see that, and I think I could get behind that, because what are the options here? Do you honestly believe that Jacob Fatu is winning the World Heavyweight Championship?
No, not a chance.
Okay, so then he's going to lose. What is the purpose, I guess, of having a match between these two where Roman just beats him and then he just limps back to SmackDown? Like,
Either he limps back to SmackDown, or they do the very typical thing that they've done with everybody else in the family. He falls in line, he acknowledges them, and joins the Bloodline.
So we're back to like what he was doing that with Solo.
Yes. That's what I'm afraid of.
Well, that's fucking lame.
Well, it's AI. They got AI running the show. What do you expect? It's awful. Terrible. I know. I don't know if you picked up on Jimmy Uso on Friday Night SmackDown, because Jacob Fatu dismantled the MFTs by himself, and he didn't need the Usos' help. In that opening promo, Jimmy said, "Run the play with us, Jacob. Don't listen to them. Run the place with us. Join the family. None of these fools out here," pointing to the audience, "are going to give you the lifestyle that you're asking for." Was that like a precursor to a heel Usos and Jacob Fatu faction?
I mean, it may have been people just reading into it. I didn't really necessarily take that away from the promo. But look, I mean, if they end up linking up with him at Backlash, then I guess they were planting the seeds for it.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not against the idea. I don't know do they want Roman on his own, for the next few months?
I mean, to me, he doesn't need anybody.
Do they do this, but do they hold off on it?
Hold off on what?
Hold off if there's going to be a betrayal in the family, like with the Usos. Do they hold off on that until SummerSlam, and that's what leads to Roman losing the championship and going away? Do they do it at Backlash?
I mean, we need something major to happen here. I'm already feeling after 2 weeks the same old vibe that we got for 4 years straight. Nothing seems different here. Like, if you're gonna do me, if you're gonna give us Bloodline and just fucking jam the Bloodline stuff down our throats every week, we need something to feel different.
Yeah, I agree. It shouldn't just be the same old, same old.
No.
And Jacob is someone who I think is in a position where if they wanted him to lead his own version of like Bloodline Wolfpack or something, actually that makes a lot of sense. He's the Samoan werewolf.
And we do have Tama Tonga teasing that he may be on the outs with Solo. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You know what? Jacob is good enough to lead his own kind of splinter faction. If that's the idea here, I can get behind that.
Well, they better add some fresh names to that, not named MFT.
Well, then Roman,
yeah.
Well, I wonder then Roman may have to look for other family members. So he may have to recruit members of the MFTs now to come over and support him, like Tongaloa.
God help us.
People.
There are other members of this family that are out there doing work on the indies, man. You know who we're talking about. Get them in there. Seriously. Something's got to change. We'll see what happens there. But Backlash, it's confirmed right now. There's 3 matches. Roman and Jacob Fatu for the World's Heavyweight Championship. EO versus Asuka is confirmed. And Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins. Now, we thought Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan was going to be for that Women's Championship on Backlash, but apparently Stephanie is legitimately hurt, so we might not be getting that match until possibly Clash in Italy. So
yeah, apparently it's a sprained AC joint in her shoulder. Nothing that's broken or fractured or torn or anything, so she'll be out, but I don't think the expectation is that she'll be out for too long.
No. Nick Khan, he mentioned something tonight about WrestleMania. Now, WrestleMania is taking place in Saudi Arabia next year. WrestleMania 43, WrestleVotes reported that it is still planned. A target date of March 27th has emerged, Jason, according to WrestleVotes. I think that's great. The weekend of April 10th is also being considered as a potential alternative. They reported this last week on Fightful Select. They also note that the format of the show, while a one-time shift to a one-night event is possible for WrestleMania 43, it is considered unlikely. So we will still have 2 nights in Saudi Arabia as of right now. But I would love if they go back to a late March, early April WrestleMania. I think this third week of April WrestleMania nonsense, I think it makes the television shows worse, and they kind of run out of gas before we even get there. So hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, I agree.
Nick Khan did say, wait till you hear the announcement where we're going for WrestleMania in 2028. So people
going to Vegas, baby. We're going to Vegas.
People are already speculating on what that may be. Atlanta, Tennessee, they were also in the running.
No. Based on the way he said that,
yeah,
it was like, wait until you find out. That sounds like the UK to me. That sounds
yeah,
like
it has to be. Yeah.
Yeah. He's not going to say to these people, wait until you find out where we're bringing WrestleMania in 2028. And then we find out
can
it's
we
coming
trust
to like
them?
fucking Boise, Idaho or something. It's got to be, no offense to the great people of Boise, but it's got to be something like they haven't done before. And we know there's obviously a hunger to bring WrestleMania to the UK. So that was my first thought when I heard that comment. I don't know. I mean, does that mean they're making an announcement soon, or was he just sort of teasing something that won't be announced for another year?
I'm assuming they don't want to take any shine away from Saudi Arabia, so probably not. How about Utah? WrestleMania in Utah.
Well, we could then we can travel out there and do like a live TNT. It'll be JD from Utah.
Yes, it would be
officially
WrestleMania in Utah. I never been to Utah.
I haven't been either. I don't have any intention of going. I would imagine there's a lot of skiing that happens there, and I don't ski.
No.
I would, if I'm going to travel, I would much rather go to a warmer climate.
Maybe it's New Orleans. Maybe he's trolling us, and it's going back to New Orleans.
No. The way he said that sounds like it's going to be a place they've never run before for WrestleMania.
Get ready, Tony Khan. They're encroaching on your space. Wembley Stadium may be the play here. We'll see what happens. What else we got here? We got some Hogan talk. Let's talk some AEW before we get to the Hogan stuff and that documentary on Netflix. Dynamite. There were two things that I wanted to talk about on Dynamite. Actually, three things. Number one, MJF. He started the show. He's obviously upset that what happened. What I say?
Look at Hula Grim's comment.
what I've my chat. I haven't been looking at the chat. What do you say? If it's Utah, I will suck a fart out of my own ass with a straw. Is that what he said?
Yeah, this is the classy audience that we have here, and he will suck a fart out of his own ass through a straw. I so want WWE to run Utah now, just so we can have that moment. So, do they even have a building big enough in Utah that could run a WrestleMania? Do they have like a dome or something?
I am not sure. Mexico is another one. I did see that. Mexico. That could be.
Maybe.
Want to venture down to Mexico for WrestleMania?
I had a lot of fun in Cancun many years ago.
There you go.
Although they said 2028, right? My passport expires in 2027. I have to renew it.
Well, anyway, AEW. A couple of things I want to talk about here. MJF starts the show. He's obviously upset that Darby Allin is the AEW World Champion. He wants a shot. He feels robbed. He feels cheated. So Kevin Knight and MJF is being set up for TNT title match? TBS title. I get confused.
TBS, really? TBS title?
Yeah, TNT.
The Willow Nightingale title?
It's all the same shape to me. So many titles. TNT title against MJF. What did you make of MJF kind of goading Kevin Knight to put something on the line if he wants another match with the former AEW World Champion? Should MJF be going after the TNT title, and do you see him winning the TNT Championship? How do you see this working out? Because we all know that it's rumored that he may be getting Darby at Double or Nothing if we get back there. Do we really want him holding another championship he doesn't need?
Oh, he's getting Darby at Double. That's going to be the match at Double or Nothing. There's not a doubt in my mind. Yeah, I mean, it sounds to me like MJF is winning the TNT Championship tomorrow night, which I hate that idea. I don't understand what the purpose of that would be. It doesn't make any sense to me, and it completely negates, in my opinion, Kevin Knight winning the title in the first place, because you have an opportunity here to do something with him where you can really, use it to benefit Kevin Knight. Like, they put the TNT title on Tommaso Ciampa when he came in. He had it for 11 days?
Yeah.
You're going to do the same thing with Kevin Knight? But what else are we supposed to draw from Darby telling him that? What else would MJF even have to put on the line other than the TNT title if he won it?
I don't know.
Do you think Darby gives a shit about the ring? He doesn't care about the diamond ring.
So MJF would be a double champion at the end of Double or Nothing.
Yeah, and I don't understand the purpose of that. Why would you do that?
I don't know. I was very confused. Jesse was very confused on Wednesday. We tried to figure out, did they book themselves into a corner here?
It's just, we'll find out tomorrow. But I mean, I'm struggling to find out what else he could put on unless he forces MJF to rescind, the whole Hangman stipulation. Like, if I beat you, Hangman he can once again challenge for the title. Like, what else is there for him to offer? There's nothing.
No.
What would MJF have that Darby would even want?
Nothing.
He's not interested in money. He's not interested in a diamond ring. He's not interested in a fancy car. He's going to win. It sounds like he's going to win the TNT title tomorrow.
I hope not. Everything is just completely ass backwards here. I questioned that. I tried to figure it out on Wednesday with Jesse. We couldn't come up with anything substantial there, but it is what it is. The other thing I wanted to talk about here is the Will Ospreay and Death Riders thing continues on. After his match, Will Ospreay got taken away, almost captured by the Death Riders, and
he wants his soul.
I don't. I'm like, where did they take him? Like,
he wants his soul. Oh my God.
They took him away. We never seen or heard from them again on the broadcast, and then we come to find out on Saturday. There was a conglomeration Don Callis family match for the Trios Championship. And then after that, we got footage of what happened with Will Ospreay and the Death Riders. Moxley interrogates Jon Moxley, sits him in a chair. All the Death Riders are surrounding. It's like a scene out of James Bond here. Moxley asked Ospreay what it was he was trying to accomplish other than trying to break his neck. Moxley wondered what Ospreay exactly was chasing, claiming that he didn't know what the answers were anymore. Moxley stated that Ospreay's body will break down eventually, but once he realized that there was a door beside that wall, he could walk through and become whatever he wants to be. Moxley said that he and the Death Riders can turn Ospreay into a weapon that professional wrestling has never seen. He could either be just like everyone or everything you were meant to be. Then Moxley weirdly lied down on the floor. He gave Ospreay a chair. Ospreay told the cameraman to leave, and we didn't see what he had to do to Moxley or say to Moxley other than he's shooing the cameraman away. And that was the last we saw. Now, the Death Riders, Jason, they're heel, they're babyface, they're heel, they're babyface. Are we to believe that the Death Riders now want Will Ospreay to be the best version of himself to win the World Championship, and they're going to help Will Ospreay attain these goals? What exactly is going on here? I'm confused.
Beats me. I have no idea.
I come to you for answers, man, and you got nothing for me.
Well, Moxley, he already beat Ospreay.
He did.
So
clean.
Clean. But it sounds like they have other motives in mind here. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they want to ultimately recruit him into the Death Riders. I don't know. I mean, I'm interested to see where at least they're trying to tell an actual story here. I'm curious to see where this is leading to. I still say that ultimately we get another match between them when it really counts. For Ospreay, he'll beat Moxley and then go on to challenge for the world title. So it sounds to me like they're trying to, create some sort of story around this, and it beats me. I have, with the Death Rider stuff, dude, I've kind of given up trying to figure out any given week, like where this is going and if they're going to be heel this week or baby faces this week. I don't fucking know.
Are you still on board with Moxley and Ospreay in the final of the Owen? Is this what you think they're leading to? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, maybe time-wise it doesn't work out. Maybe they just choose to do it at Double or Nothing. Because the Owen, we're probably still... When will the Owen commence? Probably after Double or Nothing, right? Not before. If All In is in August?
Well, Forbidden Door got announced for the last weekend of June.
And they announced that there's going to be another pay-per-view in July, right? That Redemption pay-per-view.
Yeah, I could see the finals taking place at Redemption,
All right. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I don't mind that at all. And it's just very confusing with the Death Riders. And you don't know what the story, when it's going to start making sense and what the Death Riders are. It's just all up in the air. And then the main event here, Darby Allin and Tommaso Ciampa for the AEW World Championship. This was a tremendous match if you're just basing it on what these two guys did together in that ring. Darby, it's something that me and Jesse talked about really for the bulk of our review on Wednesday. I brought a very prepared and valid argument to the table. I know you were one to say it doesn't really matter. He's going to lose the title anyway. You like things when they're shaken up and it adds a little dose of unpredictability, which is all valid. But the way that I look at it, Jason, I think the most glaring thing is, sure, this was a tremendous match. And I love Ciampa dearly. And Darby Allin, when he wants to wrestle, he's a great wrestler. But MJF was the champion and giving out championship matches to those that made sense and they've earned it or deserved it. Darby now is the world champion and he's giving championship opportunity to Tommaso Ciampa. I'm struggling to come up with a reason why Tommaso Ciampa, who's lost now 3 different championship matches in a month and a half in AEW, why he's getting a world championship match. Brody King at least makes sense this coming Wednesday because Brody apparently 7-0 in his last 7 matches, and he's now earned a shot at Darby Allin, which is fine. But if Darby said what he said on Wednesday, I'm going to go till the wheels fall off and defend the championship every week, why are we using the championship as a vehicle to build Darby Allin up as a credible character on the show when that should have been the priority coming into the championship match and then him ultimately winning the championship? It's like they've done everything backwards. And I don't want to see championship matches being given away. That's the point I'm trying to make.
They're not using Darby to turn him. They're not using the open challenge to turn Darby into a credible challenger, because to Tony Khan, Darby already was a credible challenger, even though he was as cold as he's been in a long time because he really wasn't featured. He was doing stuff with the dogs and stuff like that. Like, in his mind, Darby has been a day one OG guy who's still very popular with the fans. There isn't a whole lot of legwork that you have to do in their eyes to convince them that Darby is deserving of being in the spot that he's in. So this is just Darby on his own going off and saying, look, I'm a fighting champion. I'm not like you.
All right. Well, I think
I'm willing.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to put my title on the line every single week. Open challenge. If you think you can step up, then step up. That's really all that they're doing here.
And I think as a fan base, we have the right to say that Darby doesn't feel like a champion because of how he's been booked. I think that's correct. I don't think we're wrong.
Sure. There's a lot of people that don't think Darby should be champion because he's 150 fucking pounds soaking wet. And it's hard for them to take him realistically and seriously as a champion. And I can understand that. I don't necessarily disagree. But the reason that they put the belt on him is because he is super popular. And I think the moment that Darby made it to the top of Mount Everest, if he wasn't already guaranteed a title run at some point, in his mind, that solidified it. Like, he literally unfurled the AEW flag on top of Mount Everest. Like, he won over Tony Khan for the rest of his life. So it was only a matter of time before Tony wanted to return the favor and basically gift him the championship. This was the opportunity to do so, because Darby is not going to have this title for very long. I think he's dropping it right back to MJF in New York. And in the meantime, what I compared it to was, do you remember his second run as TNT champion? His second run, because his first run, he didn't do open challenges. His second run, the first run was better, but the second run he was defending the title every week. It was like Orange Cassidy with the international title.
Yeah.
And so he didn't have it for very long, but he was basically kind of doing what he's doing now with the world title. And then he lost it a few weeks later. That's what this is. He's going to defend the title every single week. Different people are going to step up, and they're going to probably tell that story going into the pay-per-view where, man, this guy, is he running himself ragged? Is this going to cost him the championship because he's fighting every single week? He's having these big battles, and then he's going to go into Double or Nothing and I think drop the belt back to Max.
I just find that that same old storyline to be kind of redundant. Darby did it. Orange Cassidy did it. Now we're doing it again with Darby and the World Championship. Like, I don't know.
What other story are they going to tell with Darby? I mean,
all right. Here's a better question for you. What do they do with Darby after he loses the World Championship? Does he go back to feuding with someone like the Dogs, or did they keep him in the upper echelon of main event guys on AEW television?
I honestly don't. Personally, I don't really care. Okay. I would like to see the belt back on MJF, and that'll be what I'm most interested in seeing heading into Wembley. What they do with him, I'm just a lot less concerned about what they do with Darby. I really don't care at that point. To answer your question, no, I think he's probably going to slide down. I don't think he's going to be in there with like all the top guys. He's going to slide down the card a little bit, and the focus should be on MJF going into All In.
Did you ponder why they named their AEW pay-per-view coming up in July Redemption? Is there something going on there that could bleed into All In? Maybe Hangman gets redemption over MJF, or Kenny gets redemption over MJF? You think that's going to tie into something?
I would imagine it probably would.
Okay.
Did I ponder it? I didn't spend a single solitary second of my day pondering it. No.
Okay.
Until you just brought it up now, and I think, sure. I think it probably ties into... Well, Swerve, we haven't seen Swerve either, by the way.
No.
Although I would expect we'll probably see him back before Double or Nothing in time to get a match on that show. So Who knows? Maybe he'll be on the show tomorrow night. But yeah, I mean, that would make sense, right? They're calling it redemption. I would imagine there's a reason behind it.
So, yeah, that's what happened on Dynamite. And we got a championship match tomorrow with Darby Allin and Brody King. And MJF will challenge Kevin Knight for the TNT Championship. So that's what you got to look forward to there. Outside of all the weekly pro wrestling shows and news, that's the brunt of it. And I wanted to talk about this Hulk Hogan documentary before we get to the Super Chats. I did have the opportunity to watch the Hulk Hogan documentary on Netflix called Real American, all 4 hours. And I actually quite enjoyed it. The thing is, it was only 4 hours, and it probably could have went fucking triple that, quadruple that, honestly, to tell everything you need to say about Hulk Hogan. But the one biggest takeaway that I had from it, and I do think it's well worth the watch if you guys want to sit down and watch it, the videos of him as a father with the kids growing up, and I'm not a big fan of Linda Hogan, but I thought that she was very genuine in this certain documentary. I was also shocked to see Vince McMahon and the funeral itself, with Vince McMahon present and speaking at the funeral, recorded. I wasn't really expecting that at the end of the documentary, but that was actually shocking to see. I actually cried a little bit at the end. It was just very sad. They left out a lot, Jason. They did a very good job of talking about some of his biggest career highlights, like the slam on Andre and then winning the title back at WrestleMania 9. They talked about the Warrior situation and taking the belt off the Warrior and putting it back on Hogan at 7 against Slaughter. And then obviously the NWO stuff. But this really came off like what's a good word to put it? I know he's been a very, very polarizing figure. This almost felt like they wanted to present Hogan in a way that he's a good person, with kind of telling you that he did this bad and that bad and there were the terrible things that he did, but kind of just briefly talk about it and then just kind of gloss over it and just move on to something that kind of redeemed him in some sort of way. I don't know what you thought of the entire situation, but there were some notable omissions in this entire thing. And I know you talked about it on Crown. I was listening to a little bit of it during dinner tonight. They left out quite a lot that should have been in this documentary.
Yeah, they did. And I think you have to consider the audience that it was for. It wasn't really for people like you and me.
Yeah.
So I look at it, I'm like, man, they left so much out of this. And they didn't really spend a whole lot of time, even when he was in the AWA, which was really the beginning of the Hulkamania thing. It didn't start. People think that was a Vince McMahon thing. No, Vince just took it and he blew it up nationally. But Hulkamania became a thing in like 82, 83 in the AWA. And again, they kind of glossed over that. They glossed up, like there was barely even maybe a fleeting couple of clips of like Randy Savage.
Nothing about Savage, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been interesting because of their partnership, friendship, and then, of course, things went south between them. And there was barely even a mention of him anywhere in the documentary. And then other periods as well. Yeah, a lot of stuff got omitted, but like Kevin Nash commented, because Nash is one of the talking heads in the documentary. And he said he sat with them for 3 hours talking about Hogan. He was in the documentary for like 30 seconds. And clearly he was very upset about this.
I mean, I think anybody would be, really. That's ridiculous.
So if that happened with him, how many other people also sat for longer interviews and how much of their stuff got cut? There are always time constraints in this. I understand that. But yes, they did leave a lot of stuff out. It could have been a whole mini series of like 8 episodes instead of 4. But it was for a casual audience. It was for the Netflix audience. It was for people who I'm sure have heard the name Hulk Hogan, maybe didn't know a whole lot about him, or people who were fans of his as a kid and then they fell out of wrestling and maybe they didn't know a whole lot about what happened in the later years of his life. That's really, I feel like, what this documentary was for. There were other things where they didn't really give like context to certain things. Like they actually talked about Shawn Michaels against Hogan at SummerSlam when they had their match in 2005.
Yeah.
And they showed Shawn Michaels like doing all the comical overselling and everything, but they didn't give any context as to why that was. They tried to pass it off like, well, Hogan was old and he couldn't do much, and so Shawn just felt like he had to entertain the crowd. And it's like, Yeah, maybe, but like not exactly. Like there were some political going ons that would have been interesting for them to delve into if you were going to cover the match. And then, you had your usual Hogan exaggerations and Hogan lies about certain things and talking about how he grew up as a fan of Dusty Rhodes and watching Dusty Rhodes on TV. And I mentioned this on Uncrowned, like in his, or in my other review, but in, I think his second book, Hogan talked about how he was watching Dusty on TV when he was like 6 or 7 years old. And he was mesmerized by Dusty. I'm like, when he was 6 or 7 years old, Dusty would have been like 13. Like, no, you weren't watching Dusty Rhodes on television when you were 6 years old.
He couldn't help himself.
Yeah, so it's just like and I would like to, in certain situations, give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, you get older, you forget things, but he's been telling stories like this since the 90s. So like it's not just an age thing.
I'm surprised they talked about him being like an avid musician and a bass player and playing in the clubs, and the wrestlers came to the clubs. I'm surprised they didn't mention the fucking story about him bass playing for Metallica.
That's the best. I mean, that or when he was traveling back and forth from Japan to the US and worked 400 days one year, which is still like maybe the all-time greatest whopper of them all. So you had some of that in the documentary. It was very interesting. Like, Jesse Ventura was interviewed. He was mostly very complimentary of Hogan, but again, how much was left on the cutting room floor of him not being so complimentary of Hogan, we'll never know. Bret Hart, fucking love Bret, man. Brett's Bret. What can I say?
What'd he say? Backstabbing, knife-wielding piece of shit is what he said.
And then my favorite part with Bret was, like, I don't remember what it was that he had said, but like, here, I'll pick my mug up. He was sitting at a bar and he picked up his beer or whatever it was, and he goes, "Fuck you." I'm like,
it's gonna be a meme for the end of days, man.
Oh, I would love. Yeah, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna get a lot of use out of that. But even Bret told it like it is. He goes, Hogan, like, back then, you wanted to be on the same tour or the same show that Hogan was on. Hogan was a huge attraction. Like, he gave him his props. Like, he was honest about what a big draw he was and everything. So, so he was one of the people that they interviewed for it. And Jimmy Hart and his son Nick. Brooke didn't want to have anything to do with the documentary, so they had like old audio of her, like with Vince. They had old audio of Vince that they would splice in from like old interviews and stuff. My feeling was, I actually thought it was very good. I thought it was a very good documentary for what it was supposed to be. I felt like they did delve into the negative, but obviously they didn't dive enough, as much as they could have, into the negative stuff.
He said a word. They didn't really go too deep into it, and then the whole Gawker lawsuit, they kind of framed it as like it's a big heroic win for him, is what I got.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't really go anywhere else with that.
Yeah. And they, I mean, like, he made a racially insensitive comment, and it was like, well, it wasn't just one word. And then they didn't get into any of the John Graziano stuff, which was the accident that his son got into. And then there were the jailhouse recordings of Hogan talking to his son and making more racist comments and other disgusting comments about the victim in there, victim blaming. And I mean, that's not, it would have painted them in a much more negative light, and they wanted access, I'm sure, to Hogan and Nick. And so sometimes you got to play ball, and there may be certain things that either they say, we're not talking about this, and if you want to bring it up, we're not sitting down for an interview. So I don't know if there were any preconditions to this, but there were things like that should have been mentioned, because they were big events, for better or worse, in Hogan's life, or about the family. There's a lot of family drama and bullshit, in the later years of his life. They got into some of it. They completely ignored his second wife, who apparently was the one who helped get him clean and sober. Didn't mention her at all. The whole movie stuff was cool because we've never seen that before. It showed you a side of him, a family, the family man and all that. So that was kind of cool, to kind of get that look at him in that way. But it is it's a conflicted story here. I grew up a fan of Hulk Hogan, so I have a lot of very happy memories from watching wrestling back then. I was a Hulkamaniac, and I had the toys, and I had the wrestling buddies and all that kind of stuff. And I can go back at any given moment, and I do with The Vault on YouTube. And dude, I can watch all that stuff, and it kind of takes me to my happy place. It's great. It's better than the shit we get on television today.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm a grown adult. I'm not a fucking child anymore. And so I, over the years, unfortunately, have seen a side of this man that has, changed my viewpoint of him. I don't look at him exactly the way that I did when I was fucking 5. Because we all get older and we all read things and we hear things and we see things and we kind of wish we didn't. We wish that they would have gracefully bowed away, and instead they're doing reality shows and they're embarrassing themselves. Him and Ric Flair have a lot in common in this regard. And he tarnished, like Flair did. They tarnished their own legacy. Nobody else has to do it for them. They do it themselves. And then you see them all crippled up from all the injuries and stuff, and this guy was this big hulking 300-pound figure when you're younger, and he's body slamming Andre the Giant, and now he's getting around with a walking stick. And Eric Bischoff is talking about how when they worked in TNA together, he'd have to help Hulk get up out of bed in the morning. He's the one who got Hulk into TNA because Hogan was broke coming out of his divorce. Bischoff got him the TNA gig, and he wrestled in TNA.
Yes.
He could barely move. So he's talking about the fentanyl that he should have been dead just from all the fentanyl that he was ingesting. And so it's sad, it's sad. It was a mess of his own making in many ways. I have sympathy for him in terms of all the physical stuff. It's like nobody should have to, live in that kind of pain. But a lot of the other shit that came his way, it was self-inflicted. It was stupid things that he said, stupid things that he did. He made some enemies along the way. Nobody will ever doubt the success. Again, you talk about Mount Rushmore and everything. Like he's the lead face on there. I said in my review, find me another wrestler that you can think of who was the face of 2 different boom periods in 2 different companies. One is a baby face and one is a heel, 10 years apart. Who else has done that?
Nobody.
So you give him his flowers, and he did all of these amazing things. There'll never be another career like that. But man, he got himself into a lot of shit and paid the price for it, because in the eyes of a lot of people, it affected the way they look at him, and it will always be a stain on his legacy. You can't get rid of that. The last appearance that he ever made on a wrestling show, he was booed out of the building.
Yeah, they did talk about that, and that was actually one of the saddest parts of it, because they painted him at the Republican National Convention, and they had Trump on this thing for a couple of minutes, and he was talking about how he knew Hulk Hogan, and they had him ripping the shirt at the convention, and Trumpomania, and Triple H. They were filming on that January 6th episode in Los Angeles for the Netflix premiere, and Triple H is telling the writing team, Hulk Hogan's gonna go, he's gonna be out there and whatnot, and Hulk Hogan goes out there, he gets booed. And Triple H was then asked after the fact, you sent Hulk Hogan out there. Did you expect that type of reaction? He's like, yeah, I did expect that. It's like they sent him out there and fucking made him die on the vine out there when they knew what they were going to get. And it's just awful. Like a lot of people did. And Vince, I think, even came out and said that they disrespected Terry so badly. I would have never sent him out there. But Triple H knew exactly the reaction that he was going to get, and they sent him out there anyway. And they're trying to pin it off like, he's his political affiliations instead of everything else that he's did terribly, and people are only booing him for his association with Trump. That's the way they painted it. It's like, no, they booed him for a lot of different reasons, not just that. Yeah.
They ignore the fact, that he was booed at WrestleMania 37 in his own hometown of Tampa. Apparently this never happened. So people they have selective memories. He got booed for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
But that will be for a lot of people, that will be the lasting image they have of Hulk Hogan at a wrestling show, at a WWE show, right? This company that he was such an integral part of for so many years. And he played it off like, oh no, because they asked him and he goes, no, I didn't mind the booze. It was great, right? It was great heat.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And then Jimmy Hart was like, no, it bothered him. And I'm like, of course it bothered him. He can no sell it all he wants to, but dude, it was embarrassing. You had a building full of whatever it was, 15,000 people saying, fuck you, we don't want you here.
Yeah. Biggest wrestler of all time getting fucking thrown out of the building. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. You're here to shill your shitty beer. Get out of here.
Yeah.
So it's embarrassing.
Well, it was 4 hours. I think it's well worth your time to go watch it. Personally, I enjoyed it. If you're looking for a complete over just career retrospective of everything Hulk Hogan, it's not that, but it was very informative. It was very entertaining, and it was actually very sad too. So go and watch it. It's now on Netflix right now. 4 hours in total. So that's there for you guys if you want to consume it. But that is all we got here for Tuesday Night Titans. We're going to get into super chats and then wrap things up here for the final Tuesday of April. And Jason, I really appreciate it. We are looking at another 29 likes for 1,000. So if you guys want to get that on in, please. Helps us out tremendously. Super chats are open. They will remain open until the end of the stream. And if you guys want to follow us on social media, everything you need is linked down below in the description. Also, once again, a reminder, we talked about it at the top. I'm going to mention it here again on Friday. Jason's going to be in Los Angeles, House of Glory, at the Globe Theater in Los Angeles. We got a great show coming up on Friday. So if you guys need something else other than SmackDown, Triller TV, correct? We're still on Triller TV.
Yeah, Triller TV Plus. So yeah, both of us on our respective platforms will not be here for SmackDown on Friday.
No. So that is there if you guys want something else on Friday night. And we thank you, as always, for another great Tuesday night. Let's start at the top here with, I believe it's Michael Krause, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, indeed. $2 super chat. JD Jason, OTS TNT, best of the best. Yeah. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Hardcore Kevin with the $2 super chat. Micro Man should answer Obafemi's open challenge. I'd love to see him with Omos again. Have we ever gotten that outside that one appearance?
I don't believe so.
No.
You know, when we were backstage at the Palms getting ready for the HOG show, the CMLL show was just ending, and oh God, what's his name? The little guy.
Yeah,
famous.
Someone. I don't know who it was. You have a better idea than me.
Oh God, his name just popped out of my freaking head. But he walked right by us.
I did see that.
I was like, oh, the man, the myth, the legend himself, and he just came walking by, and I'm like, the mini, and I'm like, oh man, this is great.
Yeah, we were there when CMLL was wrapping up their show at the Palms Casino.
Yeah, they were wrapping up because they had 3 shows in the building that night. We were the last ones, and so CMLL, we were waiting for their show to end. So everybody came backstage after, and all the talent, they were getting ready to get their shit and get out of there. And so, you know, they're all walking by and everything, and then I see him. I'm like, hey, there he is.
Baltimore Jackson with a $4.99. Tuesday is my favorite day of the week. We have millions of the Goon Squad, JD, and the Sound Off Salamander laughing emoji. What's up, my brothers? What's up, Baltimore Jackson? Thanks for being here, brother. Michelle with a 5. With WWE manipulating fan reactions on TV, bad and boring shows, and dismissing us as a vocal minority, are we looking at Triple H morphing into Vincent Kennedy McMahon 2.0? No, he's not. He's not Vince McMahon 2.0.
Yeah, no. I mean, hide the women if that's the case.
Yeah. No. Thank you, Michelle. Edward with a 199. All the green shirts last week equals narcissistic dweebs. Yeah, there was a bunch of them in the front row. That's all green shirt guy's family, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that or his offspring or something. I don't know. Sprouting up.
Baltimore Jackson with a 499. I was reading earlier that Kairi Sane reportedly was homesick and desired to return to Japan to be with her husband. Not sure if that's true or not. Well, we talked about that earlier.
She has batted that down.
Yes. Indigo, 64 months. Indigo, what's up, man? Hey, JD Jason here for 64 months today. Was a long day, but TNT was the highlight of it. Both of your streams last night were fun as always. Much love, bros. Indigo. Love you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, Indigo is awesome.
Grant with a 2. JD Solo, how are you guys doing? Great stream. We're doing good. We're doing good. Can't complain.
We're doing well. We're kicking ass around here because of you guys.
Yeah. Jimmy Fingers with a 20. Thank you, Jimmy. Do you guys think that Bo Dallas can carry on elsewhere if he just loses the hocus pocus? I would like to see him try. Because if the gimmick people don't know he can work, I have a feeling he will probably walk into the sunset, though. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. I know you said, Jason, that you think he may be finished after this.
I think I don't even know if he would be able to portray the character or what he would be able to do outside of WWE with it. Legally, I don't know. I feel like maybe it was WWE, and now that it's come to an end, that may be it. I don't know if he has any other plans to continue working or not.
We will see, Jimmy. Thank you so much, brother. 20 in Super Chat from Jimmy. 199 from Caden. No message. Thank you, Caden. Steven with a $20 Super Chat. Red versus Speedball plus Thunder Rosa. Inject that into my veins. I know what I'm watching on Friday night. Listen, man, Speedball is a fucking machine in there. And Red, he's like a fucking monster. He's how
Turn
old?
back the hands of time.
It's like crazy.
Yeah.
He's like a fine bottle of wine aging over several years, man. It's crazy. Sidro with a 43 months. What do you call identical boobs? Uh-oh. Identities. And what do you call a plane full of bald people? Receding airlines. Fia Solo. Hit me up in the DMs on X for an LA meetup. Uh-oh.
Hit him up for an LA meetup. Meanwhile, I don't even see him on my streams anymore. He's deserted me.
What is that, Sidro? He's in my
Shop
streams.
liver.
That's where he is.
Shop liver. Yeah, well, he was in both before, and I haven't seen him in forever.
You gotta share the stream, Sidro. What's going on? Ray Reezy with a 20. Did you guys watch the Hulk biopic yet? Yes, we did. We just talked about it. If so, how many lies have y'all counted so far? Also, I'm still disappointed in Bianca announcing she's pregnant. She would have been rehabbing. Why are you disappointed with Bianca? I mean, let Bianca live her life, man. Be happy for her.
Well, apparently she's already 6 months pregnant, so she's pretty far along. I don't know, from the looks of it at WrestleMania, I thought she was earlier than that, but I guess I didn't get a good view of things. So, no, I mean, what is there to be upset about? I wish she was back in the ring wrestling, but she's having a baby. It's like, it doesn't work on your time. She wants to start a family, so let her start a family, and then hopefully she'll be able to come back.
She will be back. We got some promising women's talent on SmackDown. We got Rhea there. We got Blake Monroe. We got Jacy Jayne. We got a lot to look forward to. Hopefully they know what they're doing. Bossman Jacks with a 499. Wrestling pet peeves. Number 1, wrestlers moving in position to help their opponent do their moves. And 2, no selling. Wrestlers fall harder on offense and pop right up. Yeah, I noticed that in the Becky match with the EO. She kind of scooted over to be in position for the over the moonsault. It's kind of a little cringy, but I agree with you.
One of these days, when Joe Hendry does that big dive out over the top rope that he does and expects somebody to be there to catch him, somebody's going to do a Samoa Joe like nope, and they're going to walk away, and he's just going to go splat on the
That's
floor.
going to fucking suck too. That's not the type of dive you want to fall on the concrete for.
No,
it's that stage dive he does. Griffey Boy with a 2. No message. Thank you, Griffey. Jimmy Fingers with a $50 super chat. As far as the Hogan doc, I walked away from it sad. Yes, his ego was still not an endearing trait, but you know what? Neither is Bret Hart's. Does he ever stop bitching? In closing, do either of you see any shady Scientology activity around Hulk Hogan's death?
If there is any, it's not visible publicly. I mean, I don't know what's going on within the family. I know Brooke has.
Yeah.
His daughter is still talking about, like, there were cameras in the house, an autopsy. She wants to know the real story about what happened, and apparently they're not being very forthcoming. So there's a lot of drama going on there.
Yeah. If she has any information, she's the only one that does. Michelle with a 2. Where and when will we get Cody Punk and who wins?
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam. Selfishly, I would love it to be at WrestleMania, but if just seeing where WrestleMania is going to be this year, I would prefer SummerSlam, honestly. Jimmy Fingers with a $5 super chat. Solomon, my Red Sox are trash. Would you welcome Alex Cora to take over as skipper for the Mets?
I mean, I don't think that we're in a position yet where we need to fire the manager. I feel like he would be a scapegoat, honestly. But if he was to be relieved of his duties, sure. Can't get any worse than the situation we're in right now.
Well, the Phillies fired their manager today, so goodbye. Don Mattingly, I think, is taking over as interim manager. Doc Proc with a $4.99. 2 dozen people lost their jobs, so Triple H could get a fat multi-million-dollar contract extension. It is the Paul Levesque era at the end of the day. Lord Maestro with a $4.99. I said it on Friday. I will say it again. Cutting people when you tout record-breaking profit and telling your CEO made more money is a shitty thing to do. It is. This is what happens when you have soulless billionaires running a company like WWE. Dom Joseph with a $9.99. I just saw the Michael movie and thought it was great. What's your guys' favorite MJ song?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, I mean, for me, it might be Beat It.
I was gonna say Beat It. Yeah.
I think I'd have to go Beat It.
Yeah. Yeah, MJ's great.
Well, let me rephrase that. I would choose Beat It. I said that. I said that I would.
What did you say?
I think I said I'm going to go Beat It. And I just didn't. It didn't sound right.
At least you caught yourself in the
I'm
moment.
glad I did too. Yeah, just to clarify.
Smooth Criminal is a good one too. Yeah,
that's a good one too. You know, I always love the, and I might like it better, the Alien Ant Farm cover of that.
That's a great fucking cover.
It is a great cover.
You talk about going back in a time capsule. You listen to that shit. It's like, oh shit, man, put me back in that time period. You know?
Yeah.
Dom, thank you, brother. Hollywood Guy with a $5 super chat. Well, if Triple H won't take responsibility, then we can blame Bruce. It's all his fault. I'm assuming he had a say in who goes. Sure. He's got a pretty powerful position back there. Sidro with a $5 super chat. Why shouldn't you turn your back on a dinosaur? Because you will get Jurassic kicked. And what did Rocky earn after the 5th movie? A Nobel Prize.
I feel like I'm missing something there.
The Nobel Prize. Sidro, thank you.
What does that have to do? What does that have to do with after the 5th movie, though?
I don't know. Maybe the bell in the ring.
Okay.
Thank you, Sidro. Griffey boy with it too. Respect and truth from Mark and Griff in England. Thank you, brother.
Thank
brothers.
You. Brother.
Kratos with a 59 months. Good to be back in the VIP section. Did you see that MJF is facing Kevin Knight for the TNT Championship tomorrow? Yes. Jason thinks he's going to win the TNT title. We don't know why.
I do.
Why that makes any sense?
Well, we actually have 3 title matches tomorrow.
What's
right?
the third?
Because we have Darby and Brody King. We have MJF and Kevin Knight. And we have Megan Bayne and Alina Cross putting their titles on the line against Statlander and Sheeta.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. No reason to take the belts off those ladies. Gavin with a 47 months. In a casino ladder match for the tag team titles, who wins? Bucks, Cope and Christian, FTR, Jet Speed, Motor City Machine Guns as the Joker card. They will more than likely be at, if the rumors are correct, they show up in AEW, they will be at All In. I don't know what they do, but they are going to factor for those tag team titles for sure. No doubt about it. Tony Khan is going to show everybody why they're still one of the best tag teams on the planet. Bossman Jackson with 199. Attitude Era would have served Wyatt's much better. Would they? Would the Wyatts survive in the Attitude Era?
No, I think the Wyatts in the the Wyatt, not the Wyatt 6.
No, the Wyatts.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think they would have done well. It wouldn't have been like a top faction or anything, but keep in mind what was going on back then in like 97. It was faction warfare. It was like gang warfare in the company, dude. We have the Nation, we have DOA, we have Los Boricuas, we have the Truth Commission. So they would just slide in there and feud with some of those groups.
DOA, man. Oh my God.
Oddities. Yeah, DOA was DOA the moment they debuted on TV.
Every week it was DOA versus Los Boricuas on fucking television.
God, don't remind me, dude. Oh my God, it was fucking awful.
It was so bad.
And the Truth Commission, that was even worse.
Sidro with a 5.
But you know who was managing the Truth Commission?
Who was it?
Don Callis.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The Jackal.
Yeah, the jackal, man. I like the jackal.
He had hair. He had hair back then.
He did. Sidro with a 5. Why should you never rub avocados in your eyes? Because you could get glaucoma. And why does Limp Bizkit not accept money from Italians? They do it all for the gnocchi.
Let's come up with these.
I love me some gnocchi, man. Lord Maestro, the 199. Starting to think Triple H wouldn't do Adam Cole right. At this point, probably not. Probably not. Adam Cole's probably better off staying where he is. I hope he can come back. If he does come back.
Can you imagine Adam Cole stepping into the ring in the open challenge and going face to chest with Oba Femi?
No, that would look so
awful. That would look.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Baltimore Jackson, the 499. NXT is fire emoji. Even with the recent NXT call-ups, it's much more pleasant to watch than SmackDown. I can dig it. I like what NXT has to offer. SmackDown, not so much. I'm still not going to watch on a weekly basis. I'll tune into highlights or clips on Twitter, but that's about it. And I'll watch a PLA. I thoroughly enjoy Stand and Deliver, but I can't watch a full-fledged show anymore. Dave Scheffler with a $5 super chat. Do you think Black is gone because Zelina was being released? So he said if she's gone, he is too, since he hadn't been back a full year yet. Again, it's a possibility. We don't really know for that to be true or not. I know you mentioned that, didn't you? That was one of your
yeah, opinions. I mean, I kind of speculated on that, but I would think they would have kind of clarified that by now if that was the case.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna assume not until they say something. But that was one of my first thoughts. Like, I wonder if she got the call first, and then he was like, "Well, if she's gone, I'm gone."
Yeah, it's probably just a strict money issue with him for sure. And then they decided to cut both of them because they just paired her back with him, and then him being gone, what are they gonna do with her? So goodbye. Ryan Awesome with a $9.99. I honestly think the Wyatt 6 and the Final Testament should have had NXT runs first to refine the characters, chemistry, and weekly presentation before their main roster debuts. The Final Testament was awful. And the Wyatt 6 as an NXT group, that was never going to happen. No. Final Verdict with a $9.99. I love you guys. Thanks for all the entertainment. How would you two book Oba and Trick over the next 12 months? Well, I think we talked about Oba on this episode tonight. Trick, I don't know. I could see him holding that United States title for a long time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, and I think he should. I mean, then poor Carmelo Hayes. I'm not sure, what he does right now. I mean, look, I would love to see him and Trick in like an extended program. Kind of go back and forth, and maybe they even trade the belt back and forth a little bit, build to a big SummerSlam match.
I like it. That should be the direction for sure. Thank you, Final Verdict. The Beat More Toast. This is not Beast More Toast. It's Beat More Toast. $4.99. Were either of you fans of Michael Jackson in your life, and are you going to see the new Michael movie? Hee hee. No, I'm going to wait for it to hit a streaming platform and then watch it then.
Yeah, I'm not going to go see it, but yeah, I'm a huge fan of his music.
Yeah,
King of Pop.
Yeah, the next movie I actually go to pay to see here in town is He-Man. It's coming out next, ain't it?
Well, yeah. I got
actually, no. Mortal Kombat's coming out first.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat is 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it's May. Is it
right before Memorial Day? Right before Memorial Day?
No. It's earlier than that. Hold on a second. Mortal Kombat is either May 8th or May 15th. I think May 8th it might be out. And then May 29th, I'm going to go see The Backrooms.
Yeah, she did say that last week, yeah.
Yeah, and then the week after that is Masters of the Universe. And then I think right around that time, I might go see it because I've seen the first 4, Toy Story 5.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely see that. Yeah, I loved all those movies.
Yeah.
Rated R K20 with a 279. Start bench cut. CM Punk, Triple H, The Rock. Oh boy. Are we talking about just like how are we talking about the straight business perspective, or are we talking about in ring?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of impossible to answer that question. I'll assume in ring.
Yep.
So if I had to. What is it? Start, bench, cut?
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
Yep.
I'm probably gonna start Rock.
You're talking about just straight in ring.
Straight in ring.
All right, I'm gonna go Punk start.
I'm gonna start Rock. I'm going to bench Punk. I'm gonna cut Triple H.
Really? Okay. I'd start Punk. I bench Rock, and I cut Triple H. Now, if we're talking business wise, starting Rock, benching Punk, and cutting Triple H. Bro Mobile with a $5 super chat. They had this guy debut on NXT tonight. Will Cruz. Is that his name? Kroos? Cruz? Will Cruz?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
I don't know who the fuck that is. I've been following him for a while. He's a beast and is similar wrestler to Keith Lee. Okay. I got to check this out. Don't know who he is. Never heard of him before. Dingleberry with a $5 super chat. Does WWE have to pay the wrestlers a buyout when they get released early? Wow, this show is fantastic looking. Best place to be on a Tuesday night. Thank you, Dingleberry. Yeah, they get a downside guarantee. How much that is, I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, he's saying, do they get is he saying do they get a lump sum payment or something? No, they get paid for, whatever that amount is for 90 days.
Yeah.
But if they had years left on their contract, it's not like they get, paid for all that. They get paid what they would, I guess do they even have downside guarantees anymore? I'm not even sure if that's the way the system works now, because it might be different under TKO, but they do get paid for those 90 days coming up, and then after that, that's it. Doesn't matter how many years was left on that contract, and then at that point, they're free and clear.
Yeah. Dingleberry, they're not getting a buyout. So if they have $2 million left on their contract when they get cut in a year after a 3-year contract, no, they're not getting paid that extra $2 million.
No, that's not how it works.
No, I mean, I don't think anybody should be sad for anybody getting cut if that's the case. Nathan Cox with the $4.99. Thoughts on PlayStation DRM internet connection every 30 days on digital games to play them when you buy games? I didn't hear about this. What the fuck is that DRM internet connection? Why do I need another internet connection to play digital games? I have no idea what that is, Nathan. I gotta look into that. All my games, I mean, I was one of those guys that bought the physical copies of the games, and then I just kind of was a late bloomer in transitioning over to all digital. I haven't bought a physical copy of a game in fucking forever. So I gotta check that out. Bossmo Jackson with the $4.99. I feel like WWE recycles gimmicks and roles and never intends to push their talent. If you're a small, short dancer, goofy, or don't do promos well, you're DOA. Zeno with the $10 super chat. JD Solo, tell me you guys watched Monster Jam back in the 2000s. Solo, you're going to tell me you didn't like Maximum Destruction or Gravedigger. I didn't care for that shit either. Sorry, Zeno.
Yeah, I never got into it.
No? I seen all those commercials the big fireworks and the big trucks going and whatever. No, I wasn't into that stuff.
Yep.
Chrono with a 2. Who wins the title first, Jacy or Blake? Much love, guys. I could see them giving it to Blake first.
Blake.
Yeah. Furious Nation with a $4.99. What's up, JD Solo? Thank you for everything you do. Thinking of my dad today as he passed away 11 years ago today from pancreatic cancer at 70 years old. I'm very sorry to hear that, brother. Yeah. Yeah, my grandma passed away on my dad's side from pancreatic cancer at, I think she was 53. It's terrible, dude. It's awful. Thoughts are with you, brother. Thank you for being here as always. NM with a 5. May get benched for this, but hilarious how you guys hate the Bloodline, but have Lance Anoa'i versus Zilla booked for the Crown Jewel Championship. Love you guys.
Well, who says that we hate the Bloodline? What we hate is this reunion of Roman and the Usos just doing the same stuff that they were doing 3 years ago. Doesn't mean, I sang Jacob's praises earlier and said, you know what, if they wanted to have some sort of renegade offshoot version of the Bloodline with him leading, I'd be more down for that than I would just putting the Usos back together with Roman like fucking nothing ever changed.
Listen, Zilla and Lance is fresher than anything we're getting with the Bloodline right now, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we haven't had 2 years of Bloodline drama in House of Glory, so it's a little bit different.
Now, we start a storyline and we wrap it up in a nice time. It doesn't last fucking months and months and months with no payoff.
Well, I mean, you want to get a few months out of it to tell a real story, but it's not like it's
like Judgment Day. It's not Judgment Day length.
Yeah, I will, as the commissioner, make sure that these two squash their beef, if not this Friday, very soon, and I promise you that they will not be beefing in 3 months.
There you go. Best in the world, Matt, with a $5 super chat. The day has finally come. Evil from New Japan is now in NXT. I'm sure Jason has been looking forward to this day. Your thoughts, Solid Monster?
I'm more disappointed. I guess they haven't told us what his name is going to be yet. I am going to be very disappointed if his name is not like Good or something like that. That's going to be very disappointing to me.
I think whatever it may be is going to end up being disappointing.
I really want to know what this name is going to be. I think they should just go in the opposite direction. He's we go from evil to good.
We will see. Hopefully the product is good when he's on television.
I don't think it will be, though. That's the problem. Have you seen The House of Torture?
No, I have not. And I think he finally got cut. Look at this guy. Good thing it happened in the super chat. He's going to be back. Hold on. He'll be back any second. Good thing it happened during the super chat and not during the actual show where... There he is.
Waiting for it to pop up on my end, and usually there's like a 20-minute delay from when you tell me that you see it, and then it just never popped. That was like an hour ago, dude.
It happened during the super chats. As long as it didn't happen during
games with me, I think it's doing this to me on purpose.
It didn't happen during the discussion. Yeats LMAO with a 199. He calls it the sleeping era. Yeah, especially on Friday nights. Yo, boy Pete with a 999. Thank you, JD and Solo, for being the bright spot on Tuesday nights, calming anxiety, distracting depression for 145 episodes and counting. Look at that.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Pete. Appreciate you as always, brother. Furious Nation with a 999. Regarding the releases, I agree that these people will be fine. Just because you got released, you can always reinvent yourself and then come back over time. Cody and Drew are perfect examples. Yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you're fired multiple times now, I don't know why you would want to be back for a third time to get fired. So, in the likes of Aleister and Kairi, I think this is it, unfortunately. Boss Mo Jax with the 499. While WWE was firing its talent, they should have fired the creative staff. That would have been an excellent move. Yeah. Some of them really need to go. Cake with the $2 super chat. TNT featuring JD from MAI 206 and Sora Monster. What's MAI?
I don't know.
No? What do you mean, Cake? Sora Monster?
Sora? I hate Sora, by the way. I think they actually discontinued that app, and I'm happy.
Yeah,
I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah, they did.
I hated that shit. You know how many messages I get from people sending me fucking like Sora stuff, and I'm like, I could tell right away what it is, and I'm like,
what are they sending you from Sora?
It's like just like AI videos and stuff. I'm like,
of you?
I don't need. No, just of like
some geek made some fucking AI video of me like infiltrating the writers' room and making fun of Tony Khan. It's like 10 seconds long.
Well, that would be interesting to see.
Oh my God. Cake, thank you, man. Hollywood guy with a 2. Instead of using AI, they should ask Gronkowski or Grok. Now we don't want any creative input from Rob Gronkowski, okay? Please. Enough football players on this fucking television show. Oh, JD from AI. It says, Jesus fucking Christ.
Are you dyslexic? Did you
Yeah. I guess I was. Yeah, in the moment. Yeah. JD from AI 206 and Soramon. Okay, I see.
I see what you did. Yeah,
yes.
you completely misread that one.
I did.
But the M was lowercase though.
No, it's all capital.
Oh, okay. Because the way Hula Grim wrote it in the chat, that makes more like JD.
No. If he wrote it that way, I would have read it that way. It's all capital in his message, in the super chat.
So the way you read it made no sense.
I mean, I don't know. Sorry.
JD from May.
I thought it was JD from Miami for a second. I'm like, I would love to be in Miami.
we can make that happen. We'll do Salamonster from Miami too.
Furious with 199. Lizzie Rain.
Now we need our friend Andy, wherever he may be. Now we need him to do an image, like an old Miami Vice image, Crockett and Tubbs, but with our faces on it.
There you go. I'll see if I can make that happen. Lizzie Rain is impressive, man. Hashtag heavy metal. Yeah, I got the one thing I will go back and watch is what she did. I'm really interested to see what she does. I think she's going to be a huge deal. Furious Nation also with 499 thoughts on Janelle Grant sharing recent letters from the FBI that she received between May 23 and December 25. Does she know something we don't? I saw that. I didn't really dive too much into the story.
Yeah, I didn't dive too much into it. Obviously she's in the loop on certain things. She's been getting communications from them. I don't know why did she share it for a particular reason. I didn't get to see the entire story, so I don't know why.
Yeah,
she shared it today. But
I don't know. I know she turned off comments though, which I mean.
Well, of course. You see some of the dipshit comments on social media about her.
Bossman Jackson with 199. Would you guys be interested in a Soul Calibur film? I never played the game once, man. No, I would not be interested in that.
Yeah, no, doesn't really appeal to me.
Walker with 199. Tatum Paxley is beautiful. She is. She is. Also, Walker with 499. I'm tired of all of the ads during entrances. That's what makes the people's characters. You mean when they go to commercial in the middle of someone's entrance? Yeah, I mean, it depends on who it is.
Joe Hendry got the jobber entrance last night.
He did. Alex with a $5 super chat. Brother JD Soul, Nick Khan just said, wait till we find out the location of Mania 28. It better be London or New Orleans. Yeah, we talked about that tonight, Alex. I think we both feel like it will be London, for sure. Soma with a 5. Fantasy booking equals give Oba a side story with R-Truth. They selling drinks and Truth calls him Boba Femi. We have enough of that. Give him Danhausen. Truth. Seriously. Furious with the 499. Would you be against Punk running NXT and Cody Seth maybe having influence on the main roster one day when they retire? When Triple H can't do it anymore? I could see Punk having a hand in NXT, for sure.
I think all three of them are going to want to be in those types of positions. I think they will have some influence in those areas when they are done in the ring.
Yeah. I did order, I talked about this last night. I did order Becky and Seth's coffee yesterday. $30 plus tax. It came to $37 for a box of coffee.
Well, how much coffee is in a box, though?
It probably serves, I don't know, probably serves about 50 cups or so. Maybe. Caden with a 19 months. Love this community. OTS for life. Roxy in the bank needs to happen. It makes the most sense storyline-wise. Book it. Yes, I think that's going to be the case. Michael Krause with a 2. JD Jason, will Orton win the title this year? Yes, I do believe he will.
Will Randy Orton win the title this year? I'm kind of feeling like no.
So no 15 for him, huh?
Not this year.
Okay. Furious with the 499. TKO was the worst thing to ever happen to WWE. I feel like Vince selling was a huge middle finger to his daughter and son-in-law. Hashtag never about a sale. Yes, he didn't want anybody else in the family to have it. Triple H is lucky he is where he is right now. That's why he's so chummy with Nick Khan. Darth with a 199. What happened to Tom Brady? Who cares? WrestleMania is now behind us. We don't want to see Tom Brady or any NFL personalities on the show. Don Stoney, $5 super chat. Sources say that OpenAI is responsible for all the open challenges. Laughing emoji. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Don Fanucci with the 45 months. Got my tickets for House of Glory this Friday at the Globe. Really looking forward to the show and meeting some OTS and Sound Off family. TNT for life. Look at that.
Well, you are going to have a good time. It's going to be a hell of a show.
Look at that. Enjoy yourself, Don. Going to be a good show, man. Basic with a 499. Roman has the pick of the family when it comes to his family. There is still baby... Who's this? Toddler Tonga, Granny Loa, Haku, the Food Mart clerk.
What the fuck are you saying?
This is what it says in the super chat. I'm just reading what it says in the super chat. Baby Loa, Toddler Tonga, Granny Loa, and Haku, the Food Mart clerk. This is what he said. I I don't know what you mean, basically. What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Yeah, what is going on here?
Do we want to see Haku on television? No.
No.
He could barely walk out for the Hall of Fame. J-Ray with a $10 super chat. JD Solo, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Rumors are circulating that the second round of releases will be revealed this Friday before SmackDown, so be ready before going live Friday night. Well, unfortunately, neither of us will be live Friday night, so if there's releases, it's going to have to be at some point this weekend. I hope not, though. Brian with a 199. Utah welcomes you. As long as you got some good coffee and some good whiskey for us, that's good for me. Iron with a $2 super chat. Utah's Rice Eccles Stadium seats 51,000.
Really?
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know they had a. Yeah, it's got to be a college football.
Spell that.
ECCLES. Rice. Utah's Rice Eccles Stadium.
Rice Eccles Stadium, Salt Lake City, outdoor college football stadium.
Yeah.
On the University of Utah campus. It has a capacity of, well, the record attendance all time there is 54,000, even though this says the capacity is 51,000.
That may be below WWE standards, 51,000. That means with the stage setup, they'll probably fit 40. Probably a no-go there. We got, let's see. YouTube lost me. Chicago with the $2 super chat. Thanks for another must-see TNT. Thank you, Chicago. Don Stoney with a 5. We all agree Roman over Fatu at Backlash, but how do we book that match finish? It'll probably be family related, Don, for sure. Whether it's Usos or Solo or some outside family member that may not be with the company. J-Ray with a 10. Hey, JD Solo, I know that it's a big ask, especially financially, for both of you guys, but would you two consider not covering WrestleMania 43 in Saudi due to the political climate surrounding it? No. I would.
We cover all the other Saudi shows.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's just the month of April is our biggest month, and that's like asking us to not cover what we do for the biggest month of the year. No. Bossman Jackson, $4.99. I watched the Hulk documentary. I thought it was very good, but there's a lot that wasn't said. A lot I already knew. It could have been more. 2 thumbs up. Thank you, boss. Elka Bong with a 5. This is why it's hard for me to watch AEW when they give championships. He says it gives championships to a crackhead. Who are you talking about? Darby?
he's straight edge. Crackhead.
Osmo Jackson, the one I did. I wanted to hear more of the negative stuff on Hogan. Yes, because that's the juicy details. The good stuff is all right, but
yeah. But keep in mind, it was also a WWE production.
Yes. Paul Levesque and Lee Fitting were in the fucking credits at the end of the goddamn production.
Yeah.
Dingleberry with a 5. No, you got me, brother. No, none of that. Havili with a 15. Havili with a 15 months. Thoughts on Evil going to NXT? Jason's elated, Havili. He can't wait. Did either of you hear the rumors about the original plan of Backlash 2001, the reunited of OGDX versus Brothers of Destruction? No, I didn't hear that. Was that the plan?
I've never heard that before.
The reunion of the OGDX versus the Brothers of Destruction?
There may have been a plan for Shawn Michaels to come back. I know around the time of WrestleMania 17, I think he was supposed to be on that card, actually. I think he was going to be the referee for the Undertaker Triple H match.
Huh.
And that's when Triple H and Shawn had their falling out. Because Shawn showed up, not to Mania, but he showed up, I think, maybe on one of the TVs leading up to it in no condition to perform. And at that point, Triple H wasn't going to save him anymore. He wasn't going to, he was done. So they had a really bad falling out. I want to say it was around that time period. So it's possible maybe it was something that was discussed if Shawn was going to maybe make a comeback, but he was clearly in no condition to make a comeback at that point.
J-Ray with the $5 super chat. JD and Solo, better story. Hogan Rock at Mania 18 or better match? Rock Hogan at No Way Out 2002.
I mean, so he's asking,
he said, hey, me too. I don't know. He said better story. Hogan versus Rock at Mania 18 or better match? Rock Hogan at No Way Out 2002. Well, you're asking me which I would rather choose. I'm going to go WrestleMania 18.
Yeah, I mean, seeing as how I barely remember anything about the No Way Out match other than Sylvain Grenier as the crooked referee. Yeah, WrestleMania 18, easily.
Bossman Jackson with the $4.99. It's crazy to think that Hogan was part of two of the biggest moments and movements of wrestling. There's no WWE without him, no matter how much you hate him. Yes. Christian Garcia with the $1.99. Thoughts on Lucha Underground potentially coming back? I hope it is. I don't know what the whole teaser could be, but I know Jason talked about it this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, they have my attention. I don't know how they would pull that off or what that would look like. I'm very skeptical that it would be anything like it used to be. I don't even know what the ownership situation is when it comes to that and who owns it. And but they have my attention. I'm waiting to find out what this is all about. But I pointed out, like, they posted the teaser on their YouTube channel, and they pinned a comment at the top that said, "Please tell me this is a return," and they pinned that comment to the top. So it sounds like it's something more than just, oh, hey, you know, the old episodes are coming to YouTube or something like that. So we'll see. But again, a lot of the key players are doing other things, and I don't know what that would look like. In 2026, I don't know what that would look like.
No. We will see. Tone C with 38 months. Met my girlfriend at a graveyard concert 12 years ago. Couldn't talk her into seeing 6 Feet Under, so it's just going to be me, OTS for life. I saw 6 Feet Under, Tone C, back during the Maximum Violence or Maximum Carnage, I think it was that album cycle, Feasting on the Blood of the Insane. Great show. I can't listen to Chris Barnes nowadays. His vocals are so fucking awful. It's all the weed he smokes, bro. His voice is shot. For a death metal singer, it might sound good, but I think he sounds fucking terrible. Jason Lashley with a $5 super chat. JD, your boy, cheers to you and Solo. Mets, Braves, and Jays win, which means we get paid. Who's the world champion first? Oba, Trick, Javon, or Kendall Gray? Oba. The Braves beat the Tigers today. That's surprising. I thought they were going to have a little struggle with them, but that's good for us, I guess. Base Beers for the 2. WrestleMania 44 at the White House Ballroom. With this administration, I wouldn't be surprised. Bossmo Jackson with the $4.99. I'm a huge Jacy Jayne fan. My girls are Roxy, Blake, and Sol Ruca. I hope WWE doesn't fuck this up. They have a habit of screwing up talent momentum. All off to a good start so far, man. Well, Roxy's coming along. Blake is not debuted yet, but Jacy's off to a good start. Base Beers for the 2. Stories dropped. New Day, Kairi, R-Truth, The Egg. The Egg, yes. The glorious Egg, yes. Cayman Cider with a $4.99. Apollo Crews passed the torch. Oh, no. What happened?
You like listen to what you just said.
What happened? Stories dropped. New Day, Kairi, R-Truth, The Egg. Is that what I said?
Yeah, okay, and then after that.
Apollo Crews, Cayman Cider. Oh my God! Yes,
you didn't.
I didn't even realize it. Cayman Cider 24 says Apollo Crews passed the torch to Matt Cardona as catering room leader. This is why I need you here, man. These fucking names come out of nowhere. Cayman Cider. It's like fuck. Nev with a $4.99. JD, do you think Samoa Joe would ever come back to WWE, and how would you use him? No, I think he's not coming back. And if I was him, I would not either. Individual, $5 super chat. Love the Killer Instinct cover playing in the background. Cinderella and Jago were my favorites in the first game. Brother, I never played a single minute of Killer Instinct. The only reason why I have that theme is because one of my favorite guitarists, Andy James, did a cover of it, and it's great. Base Beers for the 2. Missing the Stephanie McMahon belts on your wall, Solo. Maybe we get him that for his birthday in October. Dev Guy with a four.
It's an idea.
Yeah. Dev Guy with a 499. What are your thoughts on WrestleMania 26? And Jason, did you see Undertone?
Did I see Undertone?
Undertone, yes. He sees
Undertone.
Yes, Undertone, yes.
Oh, no.
No. What is that? A movie? Show?
I don't know. I thought maybe you would know. I thought it was.
I don't know what it is.
Is it a band?
I guess. I don't know. That would have been
curious.
my first guess.
I'm kind of curious now. I gotta just see. Let's see. It is a film.
Oh.
Okay. Yes, it's a 2025 Canadian supernatural horror film.
Oh. That may be more up my alley.
So no, this is the first I'm hearing of this, but I like hearing about new horror films, so I may have to look into this. What was the first question?
Your thoughts on WrestleMania 26?
Not really a fan.
No.
It's not one of my favorite WrestleManias. I mean, Shawn and Taker, they had a really good match in the main event. And beyond that, I mean, I know what some of the other matches were. I think they did Triple H and Sheamus on that show. Jericho and Edge, right, for the world title.
Yeah.
Cena and Batista. Cena Batista was a good match, but it's not one of my favorite WrestleManias.
No. I didn't really care for it. Base Bears with the two. Jean-Claude Van Damme or Steven Seagal? I'm going to go Van Damme.
Oh, man. I know he's just a freaking asshole, but I probably have seen more Seagal movies than I have Van Damme. So I'll go Seagal. I wouldn't call myself like a fan of his, but Hard to Kill and Under Siege. I don't know if I've seen, other than the first Bloodsport, I'm trying to think if I've seen any other Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. I didn't see. Was he in Time Cop?
Was he? I'm like you. I don't remember seeing a lot of movies from Van Damme, but I'm gonna go Van Damme.
Okay. So you never saw a lot of his movies. You're picking him anyway.
Yes, because I know who he is. I know who both of them are, but
yeah, Time Cop, Van Damme.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Kratos, $5 super chat. Skull and 8-Ball of DOA were cousins to the Undertaker, and were also neo-Nazis.
Yes.
Makes you wonder if the second thing played a part in their terminations.
I think it might have.
Yeah.
I think it might have.
Matt with a $100 super chat. Hey, JD Jason. I was just curious to know if this was the most releases at one time. I vaguely remember a mass release before, including Kurt Angle, but wasn't sure the number count.
I think this might be the highest total.
It's pretty up there.
This was what, 23, 24?
This was 24 today, yeah.
Yeah, 24 that we know of.
Yeah.
They've had some waves before that I think touched 20, but 24 at once. I don't recall there being that many at once.
Yeah, man. We both feel, we just have a sneaking suspicion that they're not done yet. I hope that's not the case, but thank you so much for the $100 super chat. Appreciate you, man. Yeats. LMAO with a $4.99. Okada versus Ace Austin for the International Championship tomorrow has been confirmed by Tony Khan. Okay. I don't know why, but I guess he's got to get his obligatory Okada appearance on Dynamite. Sidro with a $5 super chat. When I die, I want my ashes pressed into an LP record. It's my vinyl request. And how does Moses make his coffee? He brews it.
Of course he does.
I like that one. Just because I'm a coffee guy. Solo, when do you land in Los Angeles? He really wants to meet up and have a joke convention with you over there.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm coming in day of, so I'm pretty much just dropping my shit and going to the show.
Yeah.
Which hopefully you will be there and we'll be able to greet each other. But it's not like Vegas. Vegas, I was able to come in the day before and kind of relax a little bit. This is a hit and run. This is coast to coast, hit and run, get in, get out. So not going to have as much free time as I would like.
We will be back, though. And I will actually make this trip the next time we go out there. When and where? Stay tuned. Sidro, thank you, brother. True Individual, the $5 super chat. I meant Cinder, not Cinderella. Nice Mortal Kombat cover, JD. Favorite Mortal Kombat movie and game. My favorite game is MK9. Movie, the original. Yes, the original. Nobody's topping the original.
I have a feeling this one might, though. This one coming out in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Getting some pretty good early reviews. As far as the game, I didn't play all the later versions, so I can't really comment on those. Yeah. I'm still very partial to Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my fondest memory of Mortal Kombat is 2. Though the games now are a lot better looking and more more aesthetically pleasing with the fatalities, but
yeah, and even the Street Fighter games now, like visually, they look a lot better than the old ones do. Yeah. But like I have the arcade 1-up Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet, which actually has 1, 2, and then the I guess 3 was like Ultimate Edition or whatever it was called. All 3 of them are on there.
And the Mortal Kombat cover, once again, True Individual, is again by Andy James. I mean, it's on YouTube. He's playing a live version of it in his studio, so it's a tremendous cover, so go check it out. Crazy Men with a $5 super chat. If I'm WWE, I sign Strowman back for a 1 or 2 month program with Oba, where Oba properly retires him before the King of the Ring. Also, Santana and Slater joining WWE this summer. You know, that's actually not a bad idea. If Strowman could actually go, I think that would be great. Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. And with the whole tie-in with his show on USA Network, I think that works. Santana, I believe, is joining WWE. And Heath Slater? I didn't hear about Heath Slater. Base Beers for the 2. Don West would have done well in today's WWE. I wasn't a big... I mean, I didn't watch any of the TNA, but a lot of fans would like Don West, so...
Probably not. I don't... Well, maybe more so now than under Vince, they would have allowed him to be himself, but like him under Vince, for sure. Like, Vince would not have allowed Don West to be Don West. I believe that. Maybe now Triple H would be a little more open to letting him be himself. That guy, man, he could sell ice to an Eskimo. He's a great salesman. But as a commentator, I feel like at the time he had a lot of haters, and as time went on and people look back on it, they realized that he was a pretty good announcer. He had a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So his commentary, he didn't necessarily know all the moves. He wasn't a play-by-play guy, but like his energy was infectious. We don't get that same energy on wrestling commentary today.
No.
I know you're a big fan of Morrow. Morrow has that energy about him, and we just don't have that many people like that. Whether they're told not to be that way, or they just think that it has to be done a certain way, and they shouldn't, be overly, I don't know, loud is the right word, but his style is an acquired taste. I do miss it though. I think he definitely was very good at what he did. Yeah,
they just enhanced the overall match, and I feel the same way. There's nobody that really kind of encapsulates that. I certainly missed that. True Individual with a 10. Solo, you're still playing on your Miu Mini handheld. Right now playing Pokemon Blue for the first time and beat Final Fantasy 7 and Mega Man 6 the other day. Nifty little gadget this is.
Yeah, I haven't been playing it as much as I'd like. I haven't had a lot of time, but I take it out every now and then, and it's great. You just kind of pick it up, and you have all of these old games, and you just kind of bring it up and you play. So you want to play something off Game Boy, you want to play something off Genesis, SNES, it's all on there.
Yeah, I got my Switch. I'm currently playing while I'm in bed and when I go traveling. Super Mario RPG on my Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, well, you know what? I beat Super Mario World many months ago. I hadn't played that in forever. And I guess which Nintendo game I had started playing. You'll never guess. It starts with a P.
What is it?
Paperboy. I
love Paperboy. I haven't played Paperboy since Jesus Christ. When I was fucking 5-6 years old, maybe. I was like, that's a hard fucking game, man. Holy
it was
shit.
a hard game. Well, you remember the last level where you would go up to the mounds of dirt and everything, right? And you had to
I've been recommended videos about Mike Tyson's Punch Out and the whole kind of lore about why Tyson was pulled from Punch Out, and then they kind of replaced him with Mr. Dream. Bro, I watched some of these videos, man. It took me back to a day where I could never beat Bald Bull. I couldn't get him right.
Yeah,
with the bull charge.
I never beat the original Legend of Zelda.
That's a hard fucking game.
Love the game, that gold cartridge. I love it, but I got so frustrated with it I just gave up. I said I can't do this anymore.
That's a hard fucking game. The more recent games are a lot easier than that was. Brian Finelli with a 499. Evening, guys. Question: is the S or the C silent in the word sent? Cheers.
The C.
Really? I would have said the S.
It's a joke. I mean, because,
okay.
Sense.
Okay.
I mean.
Face Beers with a 2. King from Tekken is my favorite pro wrestler. Yeah. I'm familiar with King. Never played Tekken either. Not a big fighting game, if you guys are kind of making the correlation there. I've dabbled in the old Street Fighters, but haven't played since. Furious Nation with a 199. Parker Boudreaux killing it on the Indies. Yeah. Did I mispronounce his name?
I've seen some video of him, and he's definitely made improvements from the last time we saw him.
Yeah, I'm following him on Twitter. I see what he's doing. Good for him. Rosas with a $2 super chat. Evil is NXT, and have you seen the Clayface trailer? I did. The Clayface trailer looks pretty interesting.
Clayface trailer looks fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's disturbing.
Yeah.
And it's the first time we're getting a real true-to-life horror movie from DC, so I will be watching it when it comes out.
True Individual with a 10. I got a tag team for R-Truth and Damien. Truth and Punishment, yes or no? And he also says, I'd love for House of Glory to come to Atlanta if you guys haven't already. Haven't been to an indie show since Zicky Dice's show. Good show, y'all.
Man, Zicky Dice. That's taking me back to when I was watching Billy Corgan's NWA, and he had Zicky Dice on there.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. I think at some point we will be in Atlanta. I don't know when. Nothing is set right now, but we've had discussions about it.
Thank you, True Individual. Brian with 199 on WrestleMania at Azteca in Mexico City. Possibly. I know they want to run down there. Big arena show.
But I don't know. I don't know if that's something that they would want to do, though, because I don't know financially if it makes sense for them to do it. They're not going to make the kind of money running down there that they would in other places.
No.
And they're all about money, and it just, I don't see them making the kind of money off WrestleMania if they do it in Mexico that they would make in like London or somewhere like that.
I could see like a Clash, one of those Clash shows that they do there. They could probably run there, or Backlash or something like that, something small. Mm-hmm. Fox Boom with a 999. The creator of He-Man died. Also, if true, who does Black and Miro think they are saying who they won't lose to? We don't even know if that's true or not. We don't want to speculate. But I didn't know the creator of He-Man died. Did he die?
I believe so, yes. But I think Rusev has commented on this before, and he denies that was ever the case, which, what else is he going to say? Yeah. So there were always rumors kind of around about that when it came to those two, but nothing that has ever really been verified.
Base Beers with a 5. I kid you not. The Vault censored Taker tombstoning Hogan on the chair. They paused the video like they do with the chair shots to the head. Looks better.
So I wonder, I don't know what video that would have been from. What I've noticed with the Vault, it's very interesting. There was a period of time where WWE, like on their YouTube channel and in some of their DVDs, was absolutely censoring stuff like chair shots, especially on YouTube, where if somebody was going to hit somebody else in the head with a chair, like during the Attitude Era, there would be a pause, and then they would resume it after. They wouldn't actually show you the moment of impact, and it was very annoying. You'd have these constant like pauses in these videos. They don't do it anymore, though. Like on the Vault now, there's a lot of stuff that they'll just show you. So I'm wondering if that was a video that was edited previously, or if it was from like an old DVD maybe, because like a lot of the current stuff, they had an Attitude Era week not that long ago. And like the night Mankind won the belt, right? Austin ran down to the ring. He hit Rock in the head with the chair. They've absolutely edited that in the past. And this was just like, nope, no edits.
Well,
hit him right in the head with the chair. So it's very weird. Like some stuff gets censored, some stuff doesn't. So maybe that was something that was edited years ago and they just sort of.
Or maybe somebody's just working on the Vault so much that they kind of just glossed over that.
Yeah, it just seems like they're not really doing that with a lot of stuff now, so that kind of surprises me. But they absolutely were doing that for a while. They were like, yeah, we're not going to show like the moment of impact.
He also says with a $5 super chat, True Individual, actually two $5 super chats. How come Shawn Michaels' real name is never shown at the end credits and his ring name is for NXT? Because he's Shawn Michaels. Sounds better than Michael Hickenbottom.
Yeah. You can see why he would want to be Shawn Michaels.
And he also says, what are the odds of the Lucha Brothers versus the Usos for the tag team titles at SummerSlam? Division needs CPR. 0.
Yeah. I mean, I know that they apparently are doing it in AAA. I mean, they basically, at one of the recent AAA shows, the Lucha Brothers were on there together and said that they would be doing a tag match. I don't know when we're getting it. But, like, dude, they should have done that. They should have built up something for WrestleMania this year.
I agree.
And I'm like, whatever, you know. They wanted to do it on the main roster. I feel like it would have been done by now because it's not like Rey Fenix was doing anything. So it's like, whatever. If it happens, it happens.
Base Bears with a 2. You guys ever played Nintendogs? I have not. I have not played it.
What is that?
I have no idea. Is it a Nintendo game with dogs? Let me know. I don't know what that is. Don Stoney the 5. JD and Solomon straight killing. Appreciate this shit on Tuesday nights. Thank you, Don. True Individual. Did I miss anybody? Just want to make sure. Base Spirits, I got. Yeah, this is the last one here. True Individual the 5. JD, who was your party choice in Super Mario RPG? Mine was Princess, Mario, and Bowser. Perfect blend of power and healing. Same thing. Mario because he was very versatile. Bowser with the power, and then I always have to have a healing in my party. So Princess was perfect for that. But
okay, so Nintendogs.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a 2005 pet simulation game developed by Nintendo for the Nintendo DS handheld console.
Never owned one of those.
I never did either, but it says there's a touch screen. It allows the player to pet a dog as well as to use various items that can be found or purchased. These range from balls and frisbees to grooming supplies to keep the dogs happy. And the microphone is used to call the player's dog by speaking the name given to the dog. And you can say things like sit and roll over. You know what that reminds me of? Did you ever have a Tamagotchi?
What is a Tamagotchi?
Tamagotchi was it was like a little handheld thing. It was like a virtual pet, and you would have to take care of it.
No.
These were super popular for a while. My brother had one of these when he was much younger, and he was terrible at taking care of his Tamagotchi, so it was constantly dying.
No, I don't.
It was
I
like
don't remember that, no.
Yeah, it was like all the rage there for a while. I don't know if it still exists.
If it does, it's going for a lot of money, I'm assuming. But thank you guys very much. We got See No Evil with 199. Lizzie Rain is the future, and Furious Nation with a 199. One indie wrestler to check out, Richard Holiday. Yes.
Absolutely. I'm surprised he hasn't been picked up by one of the big companies yet.
And also True Individual with a $5 super chat. Pile drivers abandoned WWE. Why is the Destroyer okay and technically white noise? It's a good question. I don't know. They allow Penta to do it. One of his signatures. But that is all we got for you. Thank you very much for a great last stream in April. You guys killed it. We had 3,000 in here. You guys killed it on the donations and the super chats. Thank you very much. We hit the goal of 1,000 likes. And I'm going to leave it to this guy to sound us off as we now head into the month of May. The weather's getting warmer, bro.
It is. It is. And I'm sure Ric Flair will head to his local jaunt to have one of those drinks with a little umbrella in it. And apparently the he a little Jerry Lawler joke here. He tested positive for alcohol in his bloodstream, or blood in his alcohol stream, I guess you would say. But he came to his senses. He's issued now 2 apologies or clarifications on things coming out of that Ariel Helwani interview last week. One of which was an apology to one Ludwig Kaiser, who he buried last week.
I heard.
And now he put this tweet out, and he was very complimentary. I hear your work is very good. You're working for the Undertaker's promotion in Mexico. Like he wants to be good friends. Maybe he'll invite him out for a drink one of these nights.
We will see. Thank you guys very much for all of your supports on TNT. We'll see you back next Tuesday for 146 right here on Tuesday Night Titans. Until then, guys, have a good night.